Today from Soldier Field, it's the San Diego Chargers versus the Chicago Bears. Today's game is brought to you by Natural Light Beer. Taste is why you'll switch to Natural Light. By Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like their outstanding value. By Sylvania, makers of Superset Color TV and a complete line of home entertainment products. And by Avis, trying harder, it's still the best way to do business. Soldier Field, Chicago, Illinois. Phil Stone and Gene Washington, and we must tell you, they have just kicked off just a moment ago. James Brooks returned it 48 yards, and that's where we stand right now. Chuck Muncie has carried the ball once. He lost a couple of yards, and now we have a timeout for the Chicago Bears. So that's kind of unusual, Gene, that we would have kickoff before we join them. Mike Singletary, the rookie, called the timeout for the Chicago Bears. You see him talking to Neil Armstrong. So we are sorry we missed the kickoff. The officials whistled it down about 45 seconds before we took the air. It is second down, about 14 yards to go for San Diego. As you take a look at the offensive alignment for the Chargers, Fouts, Muncie, and Cavalletti. The receivers, Joyner, Chandler, and Winslow. And the offensive line, Billy Shields, Doug Wilkerson, Don Masick, Ed White, and Russ Washington. Wilkerson and White probably the best two pulling guards in all of pro football, Gene.
Well, I'm sure you won't get much complaint about that. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Al Harris before the game, and he said that this offensive line from San Diego is the biggest line that they will have played against all year. And not only are they big, but they're also very quick.
There you take a look at the defensive line. Hampton, Osborne, Page, and Harris. We'll run the rest of them down for you in just a moment. 2nd and 14 Chargers, and Dan Fouts wants to put it in the air. Joyner, and it's knocked away. Knocked away by Jeff Fisher. He's the right corner. Rookie out of USC. We'll take a look at the rest of the defensive scheme of things for the Chicago Bears. Linebackers, Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary. He's the rookie out of Baylor, and Gary Campbell was sort of the left outside cornerback. The backs, Terry Schmidt, Reuben Henderson out of San Diego State, Doug Plank, and Gary Fencing. The Bears with 5 defensive backs in the game now. Jeff Fisher being the 5th. 3rd and 14, Fouts. He wants Chandler, and he overthrows him at the Bears' 28-yard line, and San Diego will have to kick it away.
Wes Chandler did an outstanding job on getting free. As you can take a look on this replay, you'll see that he gets inside, and the defender, number 20, Reuben Henderson, thinks he's going to the post, and he goes exactly the other way. Outstanding effort on the part of Wes Chandler to get open, just a little overthrown. Otherwise, it's been a great completion.
George Roberts is back to kick for the San Diego Chargers. Jeff Fisher is the lone return man, standing at the Chicago 12-yard line. Long snap. Roberts averaging about 41.5 yards a kick. He gets a beauty off. Fisher at the 8. And Hank Bauer brings him down at the 12-yard line. Wherever the balls come down, Hank Bauer seems to be right there, Gene.
He's always a man around the football, and when he hits you, you know that he's been there. He really gives a blow.
45-yard kick for George Roberts, a 5-yard return for Fisher. Here's the Chicago Bear offensive alignment. Evans at quarterback, Walter Payton, Matsui out of Penn State. The receivers, Marjoram Bashnigal with a broken wrist, and Robin Earl. The offensive line, Albrecht, Jackson, Dan Neal, Zanders, and Keith Van Horn, a rookie out of USC. 1st and 10, Chicago at their own 12. Payton. And he is hammered down, picks up about 5 yards on the play. He's stopped by Leroy Jones.
Phil, as we take a look at this replay, you can see Walter Payton going back to the huddle. Everyone knows about the injury that he sustained at home the other day, but he's a guy that's always come to play. Look at this block by number 79, Zanders. He clears away there. There was Alan Ellis coming up trying to make the stop, but Zanders, who's a player that they only picked up recently, has been started since the day he got here.
That was an 8th-year man out of Jackson State. He used to block for Walter Payton at Jackson State. 2nd and 6. Matsui, running room across the 25-yard line. Matsui averaging about 4 yards a carry. Brought down by Lyndon King and Leroy Jones as we take a look at the San Diego defensive alignment. Leroy Jones, Louis Kelcher, Gary Johnson, and John Woodcock. What a defensive line it is. The linebackers, Woody Lowe, Cliff Thrift, and Lyndon King. And the defensive backs, Alan Ellis, the former Chicago Bear, Mike Williams, Pete Shaw, and Willie Buchanan. 1st and 10, Chicago at the 26-yard line. Counterplay, Walter Payton tries to get across the 25, and I believe he got right back up to the line of scrimmage before Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, brought him down rather rudely, we might add.
Well, Horn really shot up through the gap and made a great play on that one. He's been going alternating with number 59, Cliff Thrift, and they both had some injuries, but number 55, Bob Horn, in there making a good stop that time. Phil, I think that the Bears have decided what they're going to do is test number 74, Louis Kelcher, and see just how well he is. They're going to run at him and see if that injury is going to slow him down any at all.
2nd and 10. Vince Evans, Chicago Bears' first pass of the game to Walter Payton, and he about has his head taken off by Cliff Thrift, and a flag goes down. That's usually in the area that is offensive holding, Gene. You look at it again.
Well, I just mentioned the name, number 59, Cliff Thrift, and you'll see him come in here and put this stop on Walter Payton as he just misses the ball. It's a little overthrown, but had he caught it, he would have run dead into number 59, Cliff Thrift.
Now as the officials talk things over with Cliff Thrift, they'll walk it off from the line of scrimmage, being the 26-yard line, and it'll be a big one. Let's take a listen.
Holding. Number 64, offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Now you heard Gordon McCarter. Ted Albrecht was caught with his hand in a cookie jar. Now be 2nd and then 20. Ball at the 16-yard line. Temperature today about 46 degrees. The weatherman says the temperature should go up. I don't believe it. Running back Suey and Walter Payton. Play action. Vince Evans puts it up. And it is just tipped away. Lyndon King, pass intended for Mike Cobb, the tight end, and King got his hand on the football. So it'll be 3rd and 10, and again Chicago faced with long yardage situation. That has to put you at a disadvantage, Gene, when the defense knows you've got to put the ball in the air.
Well, it does, and in a situation like this, sometimes you'll either go with a draw, sweep, or maybe even a screen, because as you said, everyone knows he's going to throw the football. Those defensive linemen, they put their ears back, and they're coming.
Walter Payton split out wide to the left. And Marjoram wide right, and Evans will put it up. Marjoram! Ken Marjoram, a 24-yard pickup, a 1st down at the 40.
We take a look at the San Diego secondary, and you can see they're making that zone drops, but Vince Evans has one of the strongest arms in football, and he just zips it in there to number 89, Ken Marjoram, fellow out of Stanford. If that ball gets near him, he's going to get his hands on it, and he's going to usually come up with a catch. You can see he avoids the first man and makes a nice cut, setting up the defender, and he gets the room inside, and Evans delivers the football.
And Pete Shaw brings him down, but not before the Bears have a 1st down at the 40. In motion, Matsui to the bottom of your screen. Give Walter Payton straight ahead, and he's stacked up there first by number 55, Bob Horn. The other guys down there too. A pickup of possibly a yard, maybe just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to call it pickup of about 1 yard.
Phil, the Bears continue to run to their offensive right side, and as I mentioned before, Louis Kelcher has been suffering from a hamstring problem.
I want to welcome you viewers who have been watching the Buffalo-Denver game here at Soldier Field in Chicago. We are just underway, 10:24 to play in the first period. No score, the Bears and the Chargers. And it is knocked away. Intended receiver was Ken Marjoram, and Pete Shaw was right where he had to be.
Well, number 44, Pete Shaw, played that one perfectly. He sat back there. Marjoram went down and made a little curl pattern. He was open for a while, but Vince Evans was looking at him a little too soon, and Pete played that play excellently and almost came up with interception. As a matter of fact, if Vince doesn't throw the ball so hard, I think he would have had one.
It is 3rd and 9 for the Chicago Bears at their own 41-yard line. Running backs Walter Payton, Matt Suey out of Penn State. And Vince Evans will try and put it up. Pressure. And the man applying the pressure was number 90. That is John Woodcock, who just arrived a couple of weeks back from the Detroit Lions. And what a job he has done since joining this ball club, Gene.
John doesn't have an awful lot of size, but he is very, very quick for a defensive end, and he has a big heart, and he's always around the football. Evans was looking downfield for number 84, Baschnagel, but the Chargers had him double covered, and that was the thing that allowed Woodcock to get around.
Well, Chicago will have to kick it away. Bob Parsons averaging about 41.5 yards a kick, as long as 54, and he's got plenty of time to get this one away. James Brooks will take it at the 19. And he tries to turn the corner at the 28, but Bruce Herron says no way. A 40-yard kick, an 8-yard return, and flag goes down. James Brooks comes off the field. Well, San Diego will have the football for the second time in this ball game. They had it in the opening series. Forced to kick it away. A flag is down. It is against the San Diego Chargers. They will have the football, but instead of having it out at the 28-yard line, they'll be backed up even further.
Well, let's take a look at this replay. Number 21, Brooks, is not very happy with the way Bruce Herron is treating him, and he gets up, and not only does he throw the football at him, but he attacks him.
Above the waist, from behind, number 23, receiving team, first down.
Phil, not only is that not a smart thing to do because of a penalty, but Bruce Herron is about 50 pounds bigger than James Brooks.
We'll be right back at Soldier Field in just a moment. Gene Washington at Soldier Field on the banks of Lake Michigan. And the Chargers have the football. First and 10, ball at their own 18-yard line. 10:02 to play in the first period, and Fouts will put it in the air. And it is batted down. Al Harris, the third-year man out of Arizona State, and he just literally jumped up and picked it out of the air.
Well, Al Harris is really fired up for this football game. As I mentioned before, I visited him with him before the game, and he was saying that they're going to have a tough time against this big Charger offensive line. But as you can see here, he really goes up. It's almost like he's stuffing a basketball. He timed it perfectly. Gets the big mitten in the way.
Bounce. Got a man, Wes Chandler. And apparently somebody turned the wrong way. Chandler took an outside pattern. Bounce was expecting him to break to the inside. Bounce 0 for 4 thus far this afternoon.
Well, again, Wes Chandler had his man beat, and as he did the first time, he went to the corner, and it looked as though it was the same pattern. Chicago is playing a little more bump and run than maybe the Chargers have seen, but if they continue to play that bump and run defense, I think the Chargers are going to pick them apart. I don't think you can do that all day long, particularly against the San Diego Chargers and the receivers and quarterback that they have. You're
absolutely right, Gene. They have lethal weapons at the wide receiver spot. Virtually everybody on that team can catch the football. 3rd and 10. Bounce for Muncie. He takes a shot right over the center from Otis Wilson. Muncie and Wilson have a few words there. Listen to these pads. Dan Fouts is 0 for 5, and don't you know the fans here at Soldier Field love it.
Well, Phil, again, the Bears challenge the Chargers with their bump and run defense, and I think what they're saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to earn it. We're going to challenge you from the start, and that's what they've done. But as I mentioned before, a veteran ball club like this will go to the sidelines and figure it out, and they're going to come back out, and we're going to see that football in the air.
George Roberts' second punt today. Plenty of time. Another boomer. Jeff Fisher will take it at the 40-yard line. He'll have a return. But not very far. Hank Bauer is there again. That guy seems to always be around the football. A 42-yard kick, a 2-yard return by Jeff Fisher. So with 9:38 to play in the first period here at Soldier Field, we'll be back. There is no score. Mission here. One of the great Gale Sayers, Brian Piccolo, Don Lujak, Sid Luckman. First and 10, Chicago at the 46. Give left side, Walter Payton. And he picks up about 5 yards on the play before Lyndon King, the left outside linebacker, is there to bring him down. The fourth-year man out of Colorado State.
Well, Phil, Chicago started out running to their right, running directly at Louis Kelcher, but maybe they decided that he's well enough to play and play up to his all-pro form, so they go the other way. But what happens? There he is, number 74. Big Louis Kelcher's there to make the stop.
Second down, 6 yards to go. The ball right at the midfield stripe. Chicago has had good field position. Give across the right side. It is Matsui. And he'll pick up a couple of more before Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, shuts it down. Take a look at a few scores. Buffalo over the Denver Broncos. Denver's second loss in a row, and that has to make the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Diego Chargers breathe a little easier. Washington over the Patriots, 24-22. Look at this one. Cleveland thrashing Baltimore, 42-28. And there's a final. Philadelphia over the Buccaneers, 20-10. No surprise there. It is 3rd and 2. Walter Payton tries the right side. He will be short of the first down, I believe, by about a half a yard. Shooting through to make the stop. Willie Buchanan, Gary Johnson was also there. And you hear the fans here shouting, "Go for it." And you wonder, Gene, with a 1-6 record and so many things going against you, Neil Armstrong might not do it, and I think he is.
Well, they're sending in number 81, Robin Earl, their big tight end, who's the best blocker at that position, and they're going to go for it. And as you say, they really have nothing to lose. I mean, they're 1-6. If they can get this first down and get a score against a team like San Diego, it's going to give them a big psychological lift, and that's what they need at this point.
Got a first down for the Chicago Bears at the Charger 42-yard line. What's what you call power running.
Well, not only that, but their best back, number 34, Walter Payton, was a decoy in that situation, and sometimes it's very effective. Give it to the first man up, and you'll have those linebackers looking for Payton, because that's who everyone thinks is going to run the football in that situation.
First and 10, the Bears at the San Diego 42. Vince Evans to Payton. Got around Lyndon King, but he was finally shoved out of bounds by Pete Shaw. And that should be close, Gene, to another Bears first down.
Well, Walter Payton, everybody's talked so much about his great running ability, but he's also an outstanding receiver. And as you saw on that play, he caught the football, he came back, and then broke a tackle and made the first down on his own second effort after catching the football. But these days, a running back must be able to catch the football, because passing is number one now. You can't just rely on the run. And Walter Payton, as great as he is as a runner, is still an excellent pass receiver.
Now you hit that right on the nose. It is second down, 2 yards to go. Play action. Evans, sideline pattern. It is almost picked off on the far side by Mike Williams. He could not hold on. The intended receiver, Ken Marjoram, the rookie out of Stanford.
Well, we talked about the strong arm that Vince Evans has, and I think that time it betrayed him a little bit. He had number 89, Ken Marjoram, down there, but he really wasn't open because Mike Williams had outstanding coverage on him.
It is 3rd and 2. The Bears averaging almost 36% of third down situations. Not particularly good. When you look at the San Diego Chargers, the team they're up against today, who are averaging almost 54% third down conversion. Double tight end formation. Robin Earl, Mike Cobb. Walter Payton. First down, Chicago.
Well, this time the Bears give it to the guy that everyone expects them to give it to, but he makes it anyway. Walter runs up in there, and he meets a defender right about at the first down mark, but he puts his head down, and he makes it.
Now the man he shot past was the defensive end. Watch number 68. Leroy Jones.
That's Leroy Jones, and he goes right past him, and you can see the rookie there, Keith Van Horn, as he makes his block. Walter Payton, outstanding running back, and also an outstanding human being.
Payton, left side, tries to turn it upfield, cannot do so. Got possibly a yard. We'll leave Soldier Field right now. Let's go to Bryant Gumbel in New York.
All right, Phil, down at Texas Stadium, the Cowboys have jumped out in front of the Miami Dolphins. Ron Springs going up the middle for 5 yards. Point after is good. And Dallas out in front of Miami, 7-0 in the first. Phil?
Thank you very much, Brian, for that update. That's a big ball game for both teams, Cowboys and the Dolphins. Here it is 2nd and 9. The Bears with the football at the Chargers 29. No score. 5:36 to play in the first quarter. He's got a man. It is Brian Fashnagle. A first down at the San Diego 15, and a flag is down.
Well, Phil, that's a shame. That flag is thrown down there where it may be holding against the Bears, but you couldn't throw the football better than Vince Evans threw at that time. And Brian Fashnagle is playing with a cast on his hand. But that ball was right on the numbers.
Now the initial indication is illegal procedure, illegal motion against the Bears, so that will nullify the great gain to the 15-yard line. Instead of having a first down at the San Diego 15, they'll have a second and about 16 yards out at the 34. That certainly changes the complexion of things a great deal.
Illegal motion, number 89 offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Kenny Marjoram got caught starting a little too early.
John Robinson, the coach at USC, calls Kenny Marjoram the best receiver in the nation a year ago, and he was playing for the Stanford Cardinals. Marjoram splits wide to the top of your screen. Coming down to the bottom is Brian Fashnagle, the 6th-year man out of Ohio State. 2nd and 14, and Vince Evans will put it in the air. It is batted down. John Woodcock, we talked about him a few moments ago, 6'3", 255. Knocked that ball 20 yards the other way in the air.
He sure did, and he timed it very well. You can see number 68, Leroy Jones coming in on a stunt. Kelcher comes to the outside, Jones comes inside. They're putting the pressure on, but Evans had a lot of time to throw the football, but give the Chargers defensive backfield credit. They had everyone covered, and if you cover those guys back there, then you're going to get the sacks up front.
Vince Evans, 2 of 7 for 32 yards, faced with a 3rd and 14 situation, and the Chargers are going to be whistled for offside. Evans, free down, Fashnagle.
Oh, boy.
They're going to call it a reception, a fumble, and a recovery, but again, there is a flag down back at the 32.
But Phil, that flag is going to be against Gary Johnson, I think, for jumping off sides. And as you mentioned, Vince Evans knew that he had a free down because he has a choice of taking the play or taking the penalty.
It is offside against the Chargers. As you take a look at Don Coryell, we'll show you Gary Johnson.
There's number 84, Brian Fashnagle. He gets down, makes a nice break to the inside. Football is delivered, and you see he's going to get a pop. There it is. Number 28, Willie Buchanan, times his hit perfectly and knocks the football loose. There are 3 Chargers around him, but they can't grab the handle.
Fashnagle made the reception, fumbled the ball, got up and made the recovery.
Offside, number 79 defense, penalty declined, 1st down.
Al Coryell does not appear to be enjoying this party. And Gary Johnson. It is 1st and 10. Chicago with the football at the San Diego 15. 5:09 to play. First period, no score. Matsui in motion. Pitch, right side. Payton. And Leroy Jones brings him down, but not before he penetrates the San Diego 10.
Walter got some good blocking that time from number 78, Keith Van Horn, leading the way, and also Matsui, number 26, going in motion and helping to clear things away.
Score at Cleveland with 7:28 to play on that one. 42-28. The Browns over the Baltimore Colts. Brian Sipe, listen to this. 30 of 41 for 444 yards and 4 touchdowns. Away from Mr. Sight. Here it is 2nd and 2. The ball at the San Diego 7. Payton. And he'll pick up about a yard on the play. Louis Kelcher sticks his big arm out and trips him up. Kelcher has a hamstring. Gene, you mentioned an injury earlier. He has a hamstring, and the Chargers are just not certain how long he'll be able to go.
Well, this is a very important situation now for the Bears. They've had good field position all game long. They've driven the ball down here. They're down on about the 7-yard line or so. What they want is a touchdown. They don't want to settle for a field goal. And if they get that touchdown here, you're going to see their defense really come out fired up.
3rd and 2. The ball on the 7. Matsui. Second touchdown the Bears have scored in the first quarter the whole year.
There he is, number 26, Matsui, and he ran behind some excellent blocking. The 2 tight ends over on that side, number 81, Robin Earl, and 87, Mike Cobb. And you can see the guard, Noah Jackson, as he leads the way. Matsui just breaks the tackle. I think he breaks the tackle from number 55, Bob Horn, and gets in the end zone.
Now that brings the fans here at Soldier Field to life. The 41st straight sellout crowd of over 68,000. And they are not used to seeing the Chicago Bears leading a football game. John Rovetto will try and make it 7-0, and flags go down, and I've got to believe that's going to be too much time. Delay of game. Let's take a listen.
Encroachment, number 44, defense.
It's called against Pete Shaw. That's an unusual call.
You want to know how much the Bears have dominated this first period of play? 21 plays to San Diego's 6.
Before the snap, number 44, defense. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
John Rovetto, who's 1 for 1, I should say 3 for 3 in point after category for Chicago. We'll try and make it 7-0. Avellini puts it down. It is up. Perfect. So, surprise, surprise at Soldier Field. The Bears, with 3:42 to play, have drawn first blood. It is 7-0 over San Diego. Guided by NBC local affiliate WMAQ Channel 5 in Chicago. Helicopter. There's James Brooks in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. That is John Rovetto. He is set to kick it away. It is a long kick. Brooks will just sit down with it, 7 yards deep. And the Chargers will put it in play from their own 20-yard line. They have yet to get a first down here. We only have 3:37 to play in the first period. Before the game, we talked to former San Diego State defensive back Reuben Henderson about what he thought about playing against Charlie Joyner. And we'll hear what he had to say in just a moment. But right now, it is San Diego with the first and 10 at their own 20. Chuck Muncie. And he picks up about 3 yards on the play before Al Harris shuts it down. Let's take a listen to what Reuben Henderson has to say about playing against the great one, Charlie Joyner.
He's a good guy.
Okay. I really look forward to playing against him. I have always heard about his ability and have seen him quite a few times on TV, and it's just exciting to me to play against people of this caliber, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
That was Reuben Henderson, rookie defensive back. He's lined up right now against Wes Chandler. Bounce on 2nd and 6. Flags go down. It is left away by Otis Wilson. Kellen Winslow, the tight end, the intended receiver.
Well, Phil, the Bears continue to be very aggressive in the way they're playing in their defensive secondary and also with the linebackers. They're taking some chances, but their attitude seems to be, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to earn it. And I think what you're going to see, particularly since they're playing a lot of bump and run, is that you're going to see Fouts put that ball up in the air deep.
Illegal motion. Number 86 offense. Decline. Third down.
Well, that was against Wes Chandler. But Phil, as I would say, when you play against a bump and run, you can usually forget about the short passes, and you may have a lot of incompletions, but when you get them, they're going to be big plays.
It is 3rd and 6 for San Diego. They have yet to convert a third down opportunity, this being their third. Bounce for Chandler. Oh, what a catch! It is knocked away by Gary Fencik, the 6th-year man out of Yale, and listen to the fans here in Chicago.
Well, Wes Chandler went up really high to catch that football. He almost came down with it. Unfortunately, number 45, Gary Fencik, was right there. As you'll see, this ball is thrown a little bit high, but Wes Chandler uses his great ability, and he goes way up and has a football right now. But 45, Gary Fencik, is standing there and just puts his shoulder pads right in the stomach of Wes Chandler. He does the only thing he can do. He turns the football loose.
4th and 6. George Roberts gets another beauty away. Jeff Fisher retreats to gravel. Fair catch out about the 26-27-yard line. So the Chicago Bears doing everything right here thus far this afternoon. They lead with 2:39 to go in the first period. The score, the Chicago Bears 7, the San Diego Chargers nothing. Where the Chicago Bears lead the Chargers 7-0. They have the football again at the 25-yard line. Vince Evans is quarterback with running backs Matt Suey, number 26, Walter Payton, number 34. Suey. And he'll lose a couple. He's brought down by Louis Kelcher.
Well, Kelcher certainly doesn't seem to be showing any signs of slowing down because of an injury. He got through that line back there to make the stop. What an outstanding player he is. And has such agility for a guy, to be that size. Has tremendous agility, great agility.
Some of the guys with the San Diego Chargers say Louis Kelcher wears designer jeans by Orson Welles. I'll hear about that from Louis. It is 2nd and 11. Evans to Suey, and it got it away. They're still looking for the football, and I believe the Bears have come up with it again. It is Brian Fashnagle, his second recovery of a fumbled pass here in the first period. Boy, he is right where he needs to be today.
Well, Matsui fumbled that one, but this time the Bears are getting the breaks. And when it rains, it pours, and things seem to be going this way, except that there's a flag down back in the area of the Bears' offensive line. And usually when that flag is down there, it's usually going to be holding. But if we take a look at this replay, the Chargers Jets can't get a handle on that football, and the Bears keep coming up with it.
Brian Fashnagle, what is so incredible about him even playing today, he has a broken left wrist. And he is playing exceptionally well. Let's give a listen.
Holding, number 64, offense, repeat, 2nd down.
That's the second penalty whistle against Ted Albrecht. He's now out of the ball game. Dan Jiggets, number 62, in to replace him.
Well, he's obviously having a very tough time against John Woodcock, who is very, very quick.
It is now 2nd down and 21. Matt Suey tries the left side. Flag goes down. Suey still on his feet. Brings the ball out to about the 20-yard line. And again, the flag thrown in the area of the offensive line, and I believe it's going to be holding against Noah Jackson. He is really upset.
Well, he certainly is. He's jumping up and down.
Let me tell you something about Noah Jackson. Get a good look at him. He's 6'2", 272. He can dunk a basketball, and he's a scratch golfer.
Can dunk a basketball. Does it mean he pulls the rim down to where he is? It's awfully big to be dunking it. Well, he's so upset that they're going to bring him out for a play or two, and I think that's why.
Holding, number 65, offense, repeat, 2nd down.
But Noah takes an awful lot of pride in his performance, and I think that he felt that he had an unjust call against him, and he wanted to let them know.
So it is 2nd down and 28 yards to go now for the Bears.
The Bears have given up the good field position that they had, and so far they've had excellent field position, but they've given that up now.
Vince Evans will put it in the air. He's going to go for it. Fashnagle. And it is almost picked off. All right, let's leave Soldier Field for just a moment to Bryant Gumbel in New York. Bryant?
All right, Phil, in Atlanta, the Giants have just upset the Atlanta Falcons with 9:20 gone in the overtime period. Joe Danello makes good from 40 yards out, and the Giants go to 5-3 by turning back Atlanta 27-24. Phil?
Thank you very much, Bryant Gumbel. I suppose, Gene, we should not be all that surprised by the continuing upsets in the National Football League.
On any given Sunday, as they say.
It has never been more true than it is here in 1981. It is 3rd and 28. The give to Matsui. He tries the left side. He'll gain a couple. You can believe Neil Armstrong simply did not want to make a mistake that deep in the Chicago Bears end of the football field. Louis Kilcher, Gary Johnson combining on the stop. A punting situation now for the Chicago Bears. And this should be San Diego's first real good field position of the day, with 1:12, 1:11, 1:10 to play in the first period. Bob Parsons will kick it away from about 6 yards deep in the end zone. A good snap. Oh, a beauty. James Brooks at the 44. Good return before he is finally bumped out of bounds on the far side by John Skabinski out of Purdue. So San Diego with excellent field position. 43-yard punt, a 15-yard return for Brooks.
Brooks has done an outstanding job on these returns, but he's getting good blocking. There's Denver. They were trailing 7-9. New England trailing Washington. Oh, that's a final. 24-22. Washington over New England. In Baltimore, they continue to score points, but they give up even more as Cleveland beats them 42. But here's Tampa. They're trailing Philadelphia. Final there, 10-20. All those scores were finals.
Give left side, Chuck Muncy, as flags go down and whistles sound. And we take a look at a few more scores around the league today. Look at this one, the one Bryant Gumbel just updated you on. The Giants have beaten the Atlanta Falcons 27-24. Minnesota losing to St. Louis 30-17. Detroit over Green Bay 31-27. And New Orleans, oh, look at this one, 17-0 over Cincinnati.
Ball start, number 67 offense, still first down.
Ed White, a little anxious.
First and 15, San Diego with the ball at the Chicago 34-yard line. Running backs Muncy and Capoletti. Bounce will put it up. Plenty of room, Joyner. The man he got in front of was Terry Schmidt. Schmidt ended up stopping him, but not before he makes it to the 9-yard line. And that is the first completion for Dan Fouts in the game, and it came with 28 seconds to play in the first period.
But Phil, as I mentioned before, the way that Chicago's playing, when the Chargers get some receptions, they're going to be long ones because they're playing very aggressive. They brought one of their cornerbacks on a blitz that time that left those defensive backs back there by themselves. So when the Chargers get some receptions, they're going to be big plays.
Chuck Muncy goes across the left side, gains a couple. Alan Page is there to bring him down. Boy, Alan Page, 15th year out of Notre Dame. And we are at the end of the first period of play. And the fans here in Chicago have something to cheer about. Their Bears lead the Chargers 7-0. Back deep to receive, number 43, Emery Moorhead. He just joined the Bears earlier this week. He's got it at the 3. And he's across the 25-yard line. Tripped up there by Hank Bauer. And Hank's a little bit slow getting up. A 23-yard return.
There he is going down. There's Hank Bauer. As you said, Phil, you're going to hear his name an awful lot. He's always in the middle of action and usually makes a tackle.
He was double teamed there, and he told me a couple of weeks ago it seems like every time he goes down on a punt or kickoff return, he's double teamed, and somehow he fights through them both. He is in on so many stops. First and 10. Walter Payton. And great lateral pursuit by Pete Shaw. And he'll probably lose a yard on the play. This has not been a great year for Walter Payton. Coming into 1981, he was averaging over 92 yards a game. Thus far in 1981, he's averaging just over 61 yards an outing. It has been a tough season, Gene.
Well, it has, but football has changed an awful lot. As we take a look at number 34, Walter Payton, the emphasis now has really gone to the pass, and the offensive linemen have an advantage. They can now extend their arms. The defensive backs can't bump the receivers, so the passing game is really important now. But Walter Payton is a good receiver, so he helps his ball club in spite of the fact that they're not running as well as they used to.
2nd and 11. Vincent left the time to Marjoram, and he's got the football and a first down.
An excellent reception on the part of number 89, Ken Marjoram. He beats his man to the middle, and he does something that a good receiver will do. That football is thrown hard, but he doesn't just stick his hands up there and try to catch it in his hands. He jumps up and catches that ball in the breadbasket, making sure of the reception.
A 19-yard pickup out to the 45-yard line, and the Bears are moving the football. 12:09 to play here in the first half at Soldier Field. Chicago leading at 7-3. Matsui across the right side. He'll pick up a yard, possibly 2. And he is down by Pete Shaw, the free safety. There's some changes in the San Diego defensive secondary. Alan Ellis is out with a fractured cheekbone. Word is he probably will not return this afternoon. Irvin Phillips, number 23, is in to replace him. Bob Greger is now checked in for Pete Shaw.
Bill, are you noticing that number 26, Matsui, is carrying the football even more than Walter Payton?
I'll tell you, he certainly has the credentials coming out of Joe Paterno's program at Penn State. Payton.
Good job, Jackson.
And again, he cannot turn the corner. Pete Shaw brings him down. I believe Pete grabbed his face mask unintentionally.
Well, if that's a penalty, I'm sure it was unintentional, because Pete Shaw is a very intelligent football player, and he won't make a mistake like that. He comes up to make the stop, and you'll see Walter Payton, who has one of the best straight arms in football. He's a very strong man, not only in his legs, but up top in his shoulders. You watch that straight arm, and not a straight arm, but a forearm. Pete Shaw takes the brunt, but he comes up and makes the stop. And Pete Shaw really comes up well from that free safety
Face
position.
mask, 5-yard penalty, number 44 defense, automatic first down.
Yeah, that's a tough break for San Diego. They had him stopped way short of the first down. It's an automatic first down. Well, the Bears with a first down at the San Diego 47-yard line. 11:20 to play in the second period. Play action. Vince Evans. He's got a man. He's got the ball inside the Charger 40-yard line before Woody Lowe brings him down.
Well, Mike Cobb is not known for his receiving ability, but Vince Evans gets the ball right to him, right in his hands, and he beats Woody Lowe. Beats him to the corner. Reception. One of the things that I'm noticing about Vince Evans, he continues to throw the ball hard, and sometimes, Phil, he throws the ball too hard, particularly on short passes. But today, he's right on the money. And if you get that ball right on the money, it doesn't matter really how hard you throw it, because it's an easy pass for the receiver to catch. But once it gets high or low and you throw it hard, it's going to be tough.
Second down, less than a yard. The ball at the 38. The give is to Walter Payton, I believe, or Matsui. It is Matsui across the 37-yard line, and I believe he's got enough for the first down. The middle linebacker, Bob Horn, is there to stop him.
Bill, one of the things that the Bears were always known for was that they had a very tough mental attitude. They were a very aggressive football team. And one thing that was obvious to me at the beginning of this football game on defense, you saw that old fire that the Bears always were known for. They were slapping each other around and slapping the opposition around and playing very aggressive, tough football. And if they can regain that, they're going to intimidate people, and that helps you win.
First and 10, ball at the 36. Evans, lots of time. Over the middle, Brian Paschnagel, and it's knocked away. Great coverage there by the strong safety, Willie Buchanan, and the fans here felt it should have been pass interference.
Well, the fans think it should have been pass interference, but none of the officials did, and neither do I, because Willie Buchanan was going for the football when he came through Paschnagel. And as long as the defender is going for the football, he has a right to the football as much as the offensive player. Buchanan made an outstanding play, moving over from the left corner position to strong safety.
Vince Evans, 5 of 12, 79 yards thus far this afternoon. Walter Payton is out. Willie McClendon is in on 2nd and 10. Suey. And he runs for about 4, possibly 5 yards before Cliff Thrift is there to really put the hammer to him. Number 59, and Cliff Thrift has a very, very sore left bicep. They thought for a while that it possibly was a torn muscle there, and he'll come out of the ball game. Chargers like to platoon their middle linebackers, Gene, and you wonder why.
Well, I think what they do, Bill, is that they like to have number 59, Cliff Thrift, in there when it's going to be a passing situation. He's rangier than Bob Horn, and I think he can cover a little more ground. And when they expect the team to run, then they'll put number 55, Bob Horn, back in.
3rd and 5. The ball just outside the San Diego 31. Evans will put it up. Intended receiver was Walter Payton. It was high. It'll be a 4th down. Woody Lowe there on the coverage. 8 minutes, 55 seconds to play. It is Chicago 7, the San Diego Chargers 3.
That time, San Diego, in taking Cliff Thrift out of the middle, brought in their other defensive backs and went into their nickel formation. And that's another situation when you'll take a linebacker or 2 out. But if you have a guy like Woodrow Lowe, you'll leave him in because he can cover the pass extremely well because of his good quickness.
John Rivetto will try this one from 47 yards away. It is down. And it is way, way short. So the San Diego Chargers have held. They will take over the football at the 30-yard line when we come back with 8:46 to play. The Bears 7, San Diego 3. There you take a look at the Honey Bears, as they're called here in Chicago, the cheerleading corps. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WMAQ-TV, Chicago.
Chuck Muncie, left side. And he'll gain a couple. That's Muncie's 4th carry. And listen to this. In 4 carries, he's gained about 2 yards.
Well, the Bears have really stiffened up against the run. That defensive front 4 is doing a good job.
Bill Stone and Gene Washington at Soldier Field in Chicago. 8 minutes, 14 seconds to play in the first half. And the Bears, surprisingly enough, lead this one 7-3. Bounce 2 for 10 for 40 yards. Second and 8. Dan will put it in the air. Joyner, and he takes a shot. Gary Fensick is there, and Charlie's hurt.
Bill, I've been in this situation before, and what happened was that number 45, Gary Fensick, was just sitting back there waiting for something to develop, and they ran the same play they've run before, but they ran it successfully with Joyner coming over the middle. And as you can see, Joyner cannot see Fensick. Fensick just levels his shoulder pass and his helmet and shoulder pads down there, and Charlie gets it right in the face mask. Look at this. Oh.
Now Charlie is up and walking off the football field. 34 years old. 13th year out of Grambling, 4 touchdowns. What can you say about Charlie Joyner?
Well, he's a fabulous pass receiver. He's going off under his own power, which means he's okay. He'll get back in there, and the best way to get back at a defender is to beat him for 6 points. But that's a great play on the part of Gary Fensick.
3rd and 8, San Diego. And they're coming. A quick out pattern to Winslow. Ruben Henderson, the rookie out of San Diego State, almost picked it off. Let's go to New York and Byron Day. Byron?
Phil, thanks very much. At Irving, Texas, at Texas Stadium, the Dolphins are finally on the board. David Woodley throwing 5 yards to Tony Nathan, but they missed the extra point, so they still trail the Cowboys 7-6 in the second. Phil?
Thank you very much, Byron. Let's take a look at that last play. Keep your eyes on number 20, Ruben Henderson.
Well, he does a great job. Again, the Bears continue to play aggressive defense. They had the blitz on. Fouts read it, and he got the football up. And if you're going to put her up in a blitz, there's no one better to throw it to than Kellen Winslow.
Fair catch by Brian Bashnagle at the 35-yard line. And again, the Chicago Bears have the football in good field position. So, a tremendous ball game thus far here in Soldier Field. We'll be back with more action in the second period in just a moment. The Chicago Bears have the football at the 35-yard line. They've run off 32 plays thus far in the first half for 134 yards. San Diego, listen to this, 16 plays for a total of 41 yards. Bears with 9 first downs to 1 for the Chargers. 7 minutes, 40 seconds to play here in the first half. Vince Evans rolls right. Got a man, Margeron. Kenny Marjoram, 24 yards to the San Diego Charger 42-yard line. And this is a guy, number 89, who caught passes for 2,500 yards at your old school, Gene, Stanford, and he wiped out James Lofton's record there for yardage.
Well, I'll tell you, he made a great reception on that play. Vince Evans zipped the football out there, and it's difficult for a player to catch the ball going where he has to put his left hand up, but Marjoram got up in the air and came down with it.
Walter Payton tries to turn the corner, cannot do so. Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, is there to wrestle him down after a gain of 3 yards on the play.
Bill, Vince Evans has been right on the money with his passes. We talked about his strong arm. Everyone knows he has a strong arm, but sometimes he tends to spray the football around the field. But so far today, he has been right on target.
Well, I'll tell you, this Chicago Bear team in no way resembles the club I saw last Monday night get thoroughly thrashed by the Lions 48-17 2 weeks ago. The Redskins hammered them 24-7. They are playing inspired football today. Matsui. And he'll gain a yard on the play. John Woodcock is there to trip him up. He was helped out there by Bob Greger. Pick up a 2 yards on the play. Another final from New Orleans. The Saints have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals 17-7. Sui 10 carries for 32 yards. Peyton 12 carries for 27 yards. It is 3rd and 5. The ball at the 36-yard line of San Diego. And Vince Evans will go up top. Got a man. Walter Payton has the football still on his feet.
The fans have something to cheer about, and they certainly do. Get that football out there to Walter Payton. What you want to try to do is get the football to Walter Payton so he can have a one-on-one out on the field. Evans gets the football out there, and look at this. Payton just fights him off. Pete Shaw comes up, tries to make the tackle, but Walter Payton uses that tremendous strength that he has, and he just bulls his way for another 3 or 4 yards.
It's a first down for the Bears at the Charger 29. 4:53 to play in the first half. Walter Payton. And he runs for still another first down. The 12th for the Bears here in the first half. Bob Greger finally takes him out of bounds. It stops the clock with 4:45 to play. And I'll tell you what. Mr. Payton is having a sensational afternoon. 13 carries, 36 yards, and we still have 4:45 to play here in the first half.
But Bill, I think you can attribute that success to the fact that Vince Evans is delivering that football in the passing situations and right on the money. The passing situation goes better, so is Walter Payton going to go better on the ground.
Matsui straight up the middle. He picks up about 6 yards on the carry. Bob Horn is there to bring him down.
Bill, Chicago is not playing like a team that's 1-6 because they're really going after people today. They seem to be very relaxed. They're not being very tentative, afraid to make mistakes. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you're not going to be aggressive. Chicago is being very aggressive today, both offensively and defensively.
Second down, 4 yards to go. The ball at the 13-yard line. Little delayed handoff there to Walter Payton. He'll lose a yard on the play. Louis Kelcher is there to bring him down, along with John Woodcock. Look at Big Louie. Pro Bowler, 7th year out of Southern Methodist.
Walter comes up in the middle, and they're running a little trap play. You can see Kelcer reaches out there, and I think he felt the face mask and dropped his hand down. Now that's a sign of a smart football player, right?
3rd down and 6, loss of 2. The ball now on the 14. Vince Evans for Marjoram. It is almost intercepted. Matsui on a crossing pattern. I'm not sure whether that ball is intended for Marjoram or Suey. Look at Mike Williams. Bill Stone with Gene Washington at Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Bears lead the Chargers 7-3 with 3:25 to play here and the first half of action. A very surprising, inspiring afternoon for these Bears.
Bill, Vince Evans came out on there like a half rollout, and I'm sure that he was throwing the football to number 26, Matsui. But as a quarterback, it's difficult when you run out to your left and try to throw the football on the run. And Evans was just high because Suey was open.
John Rovetto will try one from 31 yards away. Oh, he's got the distance. And he's got the direction. The 31-yarder sails through with 3:21 to play in the first half. Chicago stretches that lead 10-3 over the Chargers. Was set to kick it away for the Chicago Bears. He has just nailed a 31-yard field goal to put the Bears in front of San Diego 10-3. 3:21 to play in the first half. James Brooks awaits it at the 8-yard line. And a good return for Mr. Brooks. He's out across the 31. Bruce Herron brings him down. And San Diego will have the football. Something they have not seen a whole lot of this afternoon. Here is an incredible number for you. The Bears thus far in the first half have controlled the ball for 20 minutes and 56 seconds. San Diego has had the football for just over 5.5 minutes.
42 plays for the Bears and 16 for the Chargers.
1st and 10, San Diego. Bounce wants to put it in the air, gets something on the board. Double pump. He's got a man, and he's out of bounds. Wes Chandler, a first down at the Bears' 49-yard line.
What a beautiful play by San Diego. This is a thing that you love to watch. Let's take a look at Wes Chandler as he comes down, and he fakes the out move. Now what happened on this play is number 20 is looking back, and he sees Dan Fouts fake the ball, and that's what makes this play possible. So many times you'll see a quarterback give a little pump, and that defensive back is looking at him, and that's how he gets beat.
A 30-yard pick up to the Bears, 39-yard line. Muncie tries to turn the corner, and he does not fool number 90, Al Harris, the 3rd-year man out of Arizona State. Doug Plank also there, the 7th-year guy out of Buckeye country. He's a starter for Lenny Walderscheid, who's out with strained knee ligaments.
Well, Al Harris is all over the football field. He's very agile, very quick guy. As I mentioned before, they seem to have the right attitude today, Phil. They're very aggressive. They're sort of letting things hang loose, and they're saying, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to earn it, and we're going to come at you. They're trying to force mistakes.
The lone running back is James Brooks. 3 wide receivers for San Diego. Fouts on 2nd and 8. Over the middle to Brooks, and it bounced right off his knee. The ball just bounced right off his kneecap.
Well, Brooks was open. Dan Fouts had plenty of time to throw the football. His line gave him excellent protection. He stood back there and he waited for things to happen. He wanted to go downfield, but he found number 21 wide open. And as you mentioned, the football just hit him right on the knee.
Look at the upsets around the league today. The Giants over Atlanta in overtime. St. Louis dumping Tommy Kramer's Vikings 30-17. New Orleans knocking off Cincinnati 17-7. And we're watching another one here today. 2:14 to play in the first half. Kellen Winslow in motion on 3rd and 8. Foul, puts it up. And it is knocked away. Wes Chandler, the intended receiver, and Reuben Henderson was there to bat it away. Dan Fouts now 3 of 15 on the afternoon.
Bill, I hate to be repetitive, but I have to say the same thing. Again, the Bears are being very aggressive on defense. That time they came with the free safety blitz. And what will happen to the offensive club is that you'll end up with more incompletions. But when you get one, it'll be for a big play. And I think that's a very smart move on the part of the Bears, and that's to try to force San Diego into situations where they'll make mistakes.
Again, the lone setback for the Chargers is James Brooks on 4th and 8. San Diego's going to go for it. 3 wide receivers. Bounce with time. He's got Scales and he missed it. At this defensive unit, you'd think they just won a Super Bowl. Oh, the Bears have held. They take over the football at their own 37-yard line.
Bill, I haven't seen Chicago that much this year, but it appears to me as though they're playing an awful lot more man and bump and run defense than they would normally play, and maybe that's the thing that they felt they need to do, and as I mentioned before, try to force mistakes.
Walter Payton tries the right side. Leroy Jones is there to shut it down. Pickup of about 4 yards on the play. The clock continues to run. Now it is stopped for the 2-minute warning at 1:58 to play here in the first half. And the Bears lead the San Diego Chargers in a surprise here at Soldier Field. It is Chicago 10, San Diego 3. Evans, he's got a man. It is Kenny Marjoram, and he cannot hold on at the San Diego 37-yard line. Bob Greger was right there.
Well, Marjoram committed the cardinal sin. Let's take a look at this secondary as they go back in their drops, and you can see Marjoram at the bottom of your screen. He makes a good move and comes back to the curl, but he takes his eye off the football. He wants to run before he catches the football. And as a receiver, you can't do that because the result is going to be an incompletion.
That's an interesting shot we were able to get for you right there. Rarely do you get to see the defensive backfield make their drops. It is 3rd and 10. In motion, Brian Fashnagle. Evans crossing pattern to Marjoram, and he is hammered. Bobby Greger was there and just nailed him.
Bill, I've been in that situation before, and that hurts. Number 43, Bob Greger, he saw it coming all the way, and as a matter of fact, I think he feels a little of that. He's sitting right in the middle of your screen, and he sees Marjoram coming all the way, and as soon as that football is delivered, he delivers a blow. Now, Phil, that's the responsibility of the quarterback. Vince Evans throws the football here, but he has to be aware of where the defenders are, because you want your receiver to come back and have another chance. Don't let him get hurt.
Bob Parsons will kick it away. James Brooks, I believe, is just going to let it go, and he will. As the clock continues to run, 26-25, and it's stopped now. And the San Diego Chargers will have the football following a 35-yard punt by Bob Parsons. Coming up at halftime, NFL 81 with Bryant Gumbel in New York. All the scores and highlights from around the league, and boy, have there been some surprises this afternoon. We'll update you on all of those in 26 seconds. But right now, you can bet San Diego will try and get something moving. Bounce. Over the middle, he's got Kellen Winslow. He threw it behind him. On the coverage, Otis Wilson. Dan is quite simply, Gene, having a horrendous afternoon.
Well, Phil, I think they're going to go in at a half, and they'll get things straightened out. But what happens when a defensive team plays bump and run? It disrupts the timing of the offense, particularly the passing game. And what happens is that the quarterback has to wait for his receivers to get open, and that takes a little more time than when they're sitting back playing back off. But they'll come out in the second half, and they will have adapted.
2nd and 10. Dan crossing pattern again. He throws behind Kellen Winslow. Bounce 3 of 18 for 72 yards. And I'll tell you, as great a quarterback as number 14 is, there are going to be days when you're just not going to have the great afternoon. It happens to the best of them.
Well, that's certainly true, but as I've mentioned before, there's still a lot of football left, particularly in the second half, and they'll go in the dressing room and they'll adjust to what's going on. And they didn't get to where they are by not being people who can make adjustments.
You're absolutely right. 3rd and 10, 16 seconds to play. Chuck Muncie will try the left side, and he's out across the 15-yard line, and he is brought down there by Mike Hartenstein and Otis Wilson. a punting situation now for the Chargers as you take a look at the offensive unit of the Chicago Bears. Neil Armstrong giving a couple of last-minute orders there. Boy, Neil Armstrong, an absolutely wonderful human being, and he has really been up against it this year.
Well, the Bears have 2 timeouts left, and I think they want to try to see if they can get a field goal out of this, get some more points on the board before halftime. And they're going to go in at halftime with, you know, we always talk about momentum, but these guys are really fired up. And as I mentioned before, I see an ingredient that the Bears haven't had in a while, and that's that very aggressive attitude, particularly on defense.
Now there you see it, 11 seconds to play here in the first half. Jeff Fisher will be back deep to receive. He's the lone man for the Chicago Bears. He's out at about the 45-yard line. George Roberts will kick it away for San Diego. 10 men on the line for the Bears. I believe they'll send them all. And here they come. And a good punt, a boomer for George Roberts. A fair catch by Jeff Fisher, and he had an awful lot of running room. And he knows it now. A 53-yard kick for Roberts. And the Bears will have 3 seconds to try and put something on the board. And you've got to believe in 3 seconds you've got time for one play, and that's got to be for all the marbles. Walter Payton running onto the field. Matt Suhey will be his running mate. Chicago Bears playing tremendous football here in the first half. They lead this ball game 10-3.
And they've kept the football away from the San Diego offense.
And that is the key to whipping the Chargers. Fumble. The Chargers have it. Louis Kelcher recovers it, but time will expire. As Kelcher has the football, and that's the way the first half will come to an end, with he and Ted Albrook wrestling for it. So the end of the first half, the score, the Chicago Bears 10, the San Diego Chargers 3. The meeting announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. Here at Soldier Field, Matt Suhey gave the Bears a 7-0 lead. Benershka brought the Chargers on the board. Rovetto added a field goal, and that made it 10-3. We'll be right back after this message from your local.
Sunday night's a sure winner, starting.
Now we are just about set to go as Rolf Benershka puts his foot to the ball, and it's going to carry right at the goal line. Emery Moorhead's going to run it down. And it's a good return out across the San Diego, say the Chicago Bear 24-yard line before Irvin Phillips, the cornerback, brings him down at the 25. Good return by Emery Moorhead as we take a look at the halftime statistics.
Phil, look at the total yards. Only 77 total yards for the Chargers, 199 for the Bears. And the Bears have just held on to the football.
The statistic where San Diego normally just dominates yards passing. 72 for the Chargers, 110 for the Bears. The give is to Matt Suhey, and he's across the 25, picks up a yard, possibly 2, before Bob Horn, the middle linebacker, shuts him down.
Bill, Vince Evans in that first half was right on the money with his passing. If he continues to do that in the second half, the Chargers are going to have some real problems. He's been right on the money. And number 89, Ken Marjoram out of Stanford, has been doing a super job running pass patterns. Of course, he learned how to do that under Bill Walsh. He's not a bad instructor.
Oh, he's a tremendous offensive mind. It is 2nd and 8. The ball at the 27. Out of the I formation. Second man is Walter Payton. And look at the straight arm he gave Bob Greger, and a flag goes down.
Well, Phil, this is a very interesting situation. The official threw the flag. Payton gives Bob Greger a straight arm. He beats everybody to the outside. He uses his great quickness, and he gets to the outside. And number 43 is going to come into the screen. There it is. Oh, he grabbed the face mask.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? That a forearm is legal, but bringing your hand down across the guy's face mask is not. Let's listen.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty, number 59, defense, automatic first down.
A First down for the Bears out at the 37. Just underway here in the third period. 14:03 to play.
Phil, how would you like to come up against Walter Payton when you know he has a forearm like that or a straight arm, and you just try to grab anything you can get?
He is something else. Play action, Vince Evans. Sideline pattern, and it bounces, and I don't believe he has it. No, he does not. Ken Margiam, the intended receiver, and Mike Williams was there wrestling for the football also. Third inning score out at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees over Los Angeles 1-0 in Game 5. Little series squared at 2 games apiece. It is 2nd and 10 for the Bears. Chicago quarterbacks coming into today's game had been sacked a total of 15 times. Evans has not gone down once here today. The Bears offensive line playing exceptionally well. 2nd and 10. Evans again, good protection. The ball is batted down. It is Lyndon King there.
Almost came up with an interception. He batted that ball down and it hung a little bit, and he almost came up with it. Evans is dropping back, and Evans is getting good pass protection. He's trying to get the ball over the middle, but you can see number 57, there he is, comes up and times the ball. And Phil, it appears as though that the defenders really are spending a lot more effort now trying to block passes. They seem to be timing it so well, and that's not by accident. They must be working on that in practice.
It's 3rd and 10 for the Bears. They've converted 6 of 12 third down situations in the first half. Vince Evans will put it up. Plenty of time. He's going for the marbles. And again, it is Lyndon King back there to knock it away from tight end Robin Earl. A great bit of defensive work by Keith King and Bob Greger.
Phil, let's take a look at number 74, Louis Kelcher, as he beats his man. Zanders gets back there, puts the pressure on Evans. He throws the ball downfield, but there's 57, Lyndon King. And he's defended against Robin Earl. And Robin Earl is a big tight end, but he does not have the great speed to get downfield and really challenge people in the middle deep.
Bob Parsons will kick it away. And it's a short kick. James Brooks will wait for it. Bounces over his head. He'll let it go inside the 10-yard line down near the 5. And one of the Bears ran into it out around the 8-yard line. A 55-yard punt for Bob Parsons. His longest coming into today's game was 54.
But Phil, the fans are complaining, and so are some of the Bears, because they think that James Brooks touched that football. And I tell you, it was very close. When it bounced over his head, it looked as though it hit him.
Now the Chargers will have the football deep in their own end of the football field. From the 8-yard line, Dan Fouts, who has not had the good first half. 3 for 18 for 72 yards. Will try and get something going. Chuck Muncie, good running room across the 10, out near the 14.
Doug Plank coming up to make the stop. But Phil, in the first half, what Chicago did a lot of the time was that they bring 5 down linemen. They'd bring number 73, Mike Hartenstein, into the ball game. They'd take 2 linebackers out and they'd go with 5 defensive backs. So they'd have a 5-1-5 alignment.
Now we've got an injury timeout here out around the 15-yard line. It is Jim Osborne being attended to. 10th-year man out of Southern University. An interesting statistic for the Bears this year, Gene, is coming into today's game, they have only 7 sacks. Last year this time, after 7 games, they had 26 sacks. They are simply not getting the pressure on the opposing quarterbacks.
Well, one of the things you can do to remedy that situation is you bring in another defensive lineman, which they did in the first half. So they're going to try to get more pressure on Fouts with the 5 down linemen, and that they're going to make up for it in the defensive backfield by bringing in an additional defensive back and taking out a linebacker.
And they've got 5 down linemen right now on the defensive side. That give us to Muncie, and he will be way short of the first down. It is Steve McMichael, number 76, the guy who just came in for Jim Osborne, who brings him down. So it'll be a 3rd down situation for San Diego. 3rd and 4. The ball at the 15.
Look at that effort. There's Alan Page. He's trying to hold his own in there. He's stopping things up. There's number 90, Al Harris.
Now the Chargers now with a 3rd and 4 situation. They have not converted a 3rd down situation today. And we've got an offside. Otis Wilson is offside. A pass to Charlie Joyner. And Reuben Henderson brings him down from behind. That should tell you something of the speed of Reuben Henderson.
Phil, I said that San Diego was going to make some adjustments. That time, Chicago came with the free safety blitz. Charlie Joyner broke it off. That's an automatic situation between the quarterback and receiver. Whenever you get a free safety blitz, the receiver breaks it off, bounced through a perfect pass. Joyner caught it over the middle, came up with a big gain, and I think it's going to be offsides against the Bears.
Well, it's got to be offsides against number 55, Otis Wilson. Let's take a listen and see. A 40-yard pickup for Charlie Joyner.
Offside, number 55, defense, decline, first down.
There he is, Otis Wilson. Got a little anxious on the blitz. There you can see 46, Doug Plank, coming with the free safety blitz. Charlie Joyner breaks it off in the middle, and he's got plenty of running room, but number 20, Reuben Henderson, turns on his feet and catches up with him.
Wes Chandler in motion to give is to Chuck Muncie. He's inside the 35-yard line, where he is hammered down by Al Harris and Jeff Fisher. The Chargers, as you mentioned, Gene, at halftime would have to make some adjustments to take care of the bump and run that the Chicago defense is employing against these San Diego receivers. And it appears early on here in the 3rd period as if San Diego has done just that, made a few adjustments to try and take advantage of that bump and run. 11 minutes, 38 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. San Diego with the football at the Chicago Bears 35. Bears lead at 10-3. Muncie. And he goes for a couple. They'll be shy of the first down. Jeff Fisher and Doug Plank in on the stop.
Bill, by the Bears employing that 5-1-5, that's something that San Diego has not seen an awful lot of, particularly in the early downs. You may see that on more passing situations, but the Bears, they don't want Fouts to have much time to throw the football, and if he does, they want to have more defensive backs back there defending than to have 3 linebackers in the game in all situations, because Kellen Winslow is such a threat at tight end.
Yeah, right side, Chuck Muncie. And Muncie will lose a couple. Mike Hartenstein and Doug Plank combined to bring him down. At a 4th down for San Diego, Rolf Benershka is on. He will attempt what will be about a 52.5, call it a 53-yard field goal attempt from the hold of backup quarterback Ed Luther. 10:15 to play here in the 3rd period as the Chargers try to pick up another 3. It is down. The wind is at his back. Is it long enough? It is just a couple of yards shy. The ball diving under the crossbar. And as the defense comes off, the crowd reacts. 10:03 to play in the 3rd period. The Bears continue to lead San Diego 10-3. 10 minutes, 3 seconds to play in the 3rd period. As you take a look at the Honey Bears and the score here at Soldier Field, the Bears surprising the San Diego Chargers 10-3. The Denver Broncos have already lost today. As you hear this crowd, a capacity crowd of 69,000 come alive. A counter to Walter Payton across the right side. He runs for about 4 yards out near the 40-yard line.
Bill, the Bears offensive line continues to do a good job as we take a look at number 65, Noah Jackson. He comes around and he pulls and gets a good block on Leroy Jones. Payton just puts his head down and bowls forward.
Just excellent pictures today from Soldier Field. Our producer, Ken Edmondson, our director, Andy Rosenberg. Excellent work. In motion, Beschnagel. The give is to Payton as he tries to hammer across the 40-yard line, and he may just barely have gotten there. The Bears will be faced with another 3rd down situation. Kelcher and Gary Johnson combining on the stop. It's amazing that Kelcher and Johnson are even playing. Gene, Kelcher has the hamstring. Gary Johnson has the pinched nerve in the neck. A third down now for the Bears, 3rd and 4.
Well, last week, Jimmy Webb came in place of Gary Johnson and did a good job. So if need be, he can come in and do the job again today.
Evans, 7 of 21. He'll put it up for the 22nd time, and he's got a man. His tight end, Robin Earl. And it's a first down at the 49-yard line. Willie Buchanan brings him down.
Well, again, Vince Evans is right on the money with his passes. And I tell you, he's dropping back and he's throwing with an awful lot of authority. He's not hesitating at all. He got the ball right on the money. When you back and he's throwing with an awful lot of authority. He's not hesitating at all. He got the ball right on the money. When you throw into a guy the size of Robin Earl, it's tough for a defender to get in the way and knock the ball down because he can just shield it.
1st and 10. Chicago. Walter Payton has already gained 61 yards today. That's his per game average this year. And he has the football again. And he turns the corner but will not get much, possibly 3 yards. Bob Greger runs him out of bounds on the far side along with Lyndon King.
Walter Payton is so strong that when he encounters the first defender, the play usually ends up another 3 or 4 yards back. He is tremendously strong.
Well, as we've said all afternoon long, Gene, he probably has the best straight arm or forearm. It's more of a forearm than a straight arm in pro football. Wide receivers to the top of your screen, Brian Bashnagel. To the bottom of your screen, Kenny Marjoram. Second man, Payton tries the left side, nothing there.
Looked like Gary Johnson was in there. There he is. Big Hands Johnson. He shot through the gap that time. 2 guys in the middle, Louis Kelcher and Gary Johnson. They shut him down.
All right, Gary Johnson, 6'3", 252 pounds. Kelcher, 6'5", 282. Well, between them, it's 500 pounds of humanity trying to run over you. 7 minutes, 32 seconds to play in the 3rd period. The Bears, 3rd and 11 as Vince Evans will put it up. And he's got a man. A first down to the Charger 39. It is Brian Bashnagel, broken wrist and all. Pete Shaw is there to bring him down, but not before the Bears have a big first down.
But again, Vince Evans right on the money with this pass, and you'll see that ball hit Bashnagel right in the numbers. And as you mentioned, he's playing with a cast on his hand, but he gets that ball right in a spot where it's difficult to miss it. 44, Pete Shaw comes up to make a good play. But as you remember, Phil, number 48, Alan Ellis is out of the ball game, so they've had to make some changes. Willie Buchanan is back over at the corner position.
Give right up the middle. Matt Suey bounces off one man, cannot get out of the grasp of Bob Horn. We'll be back to Soldier Field in just a moment, but right now let's go to Studio 6A in Byron Day. Byron?
Phil, thanks much. At Shea Stadium, the Jets having a tough time. Jim Zorn has just thrown a 27-yard touchdown pass to his favorite target, Steve Largent. The Seahawks are on top now, 13-0 in the 3rd quarter. Phil?
Thank you very much, Byron. Boy, is that a surprise. Seattle Seahawks have never lost to the New York Jets. 2nd and 8. Vince Evans to Walter Payton. And he's out inside the 30-yard line of San Diego before Woody Lowe brings him down. And again, the Bears appear to be marching.
Bill, the Bears are keeping the football away from San Diego's offense. How many times have you seen the Chargers be in the 3rd quarter with only 3 points on the board?
I can't remember the last time. San Diego Chargers are averaging 33.5 points a game. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WMAQ-TV, Chicago.
Bill Stone with Gene Washington at Soldier Field. 3rd quarter action. It is 3rd and 2. Payton. Great second effort by number 34, and it'll be awfully close to a first down. Some of the Bear offensive linemen say he made it, and I think he did too.
You're exactly right when you said great second effort, because he was trying to get outside to the right on the sweep and he saw nothing there, and Walter knew where the first down was, and he said, I'm going to get that first down, and he just cut it up, put his head down, and it's going to be close. One of the Chargers is down on the field. I think that's Bob Greger.
Yes, it is, and he is just back from an injury. I'll tell you, with Alan Ellis out, and if Bob Greger cannot play, you've got to wonder if Wyatt Henderson won't become a starter. And while they tend to Bob Greger, we will tell you there is 5:14 remaining in the third period. We'll be back in just a moment. Bears set to run off their 62nd play here this afternoon. They've already gained 245 yards. San Diego, listen to this, 30 plays for 135 yards. So the Bears have had the ball for twice as many plays. First and 10, Chicago at the Charger 28. A quick out pattern to Baschnagel.
Bill, I think what happened is that Vince Evans saw something and changed the play at the line of scrimmage, going to an audible, throwing just a little quick hook pattern out to Baschnagel, and cast and all, he breaks a tackle, and one of the Chargers is down on the field, is injured.
Well, time of possession as we look on to find out who the injured Charger is. The Bears have had the football 29.5 minutes. San Diego just short of 11 minutes. Say no more. You look at Vince Evans trot to the near sideline as Charger medical staff tends to the injured ball player. Next Sunday, join host Bryant Gumbel for NFL 81. All the highlights, scores, and late-breaking news from all the games in regional NFL action featuring two crucial AFC division games. Houston versus Cincinnati and Kansas City taking on the San Diego Chargers. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area next Sunday on NFL 81.
Bill, that's Willie Buchanan, I think, that got injured on that play. They've taken him off the field. I would assume we can see Willie coming up to try to make the tackle. There.
Looks like his right shoulder, right elbow. Listen to these fans here at Soldier Field. First and 10 Bears. And the give is to Matt Suey, and he barely got the football before Big Hands Johnson exploded through.
Exploded is the right word because it appears as though no one touched him at all. You can tell by the expression on his face that he's very upset. And he blew through there to make that play. But the Chargers have got to do something, Bill. They've got to disrupt the Chicago offense and give the ball back to their offense.
A loss of 3. It is now 2nd and 13. The ball at the 15-yard line. Haight. And he turns the corner. A flag goes down. He is inside the 10. Bob Greger pushes him out of bounds.
He got a good block that time from number 79, Emmanuel Sanders. Peyton again using that tremendous strength and speed to turn the corner.
And it's going to be called tripping against the Bears. You mentioned Emmanuel Sanders, Gene. He blocked for Walter Payton at Jackson State. They go back a long way together. It's amazing Sanders is even playing today. He did not even put on a uniform in practice until Thursday because of an injury. He is playing exceptionally well here this afternoon, or what is now this evening. They'll walk it off against the Bears. And we'll listen to referee Gordon McCarter.
Tripping, number 79, offense. Repeat, 2nd down.
Now there was Emmanuel Sanders.
From here, it looked like a good block. Maybe that's why it was a good block.
Well, he got one of those size 16s out there. That's what made it such a great block. It is now 2nd down and 20 yards to go. The ball at the 22. Vince Evans. And he'll run the football. And he gets back about 11 of those yards before Woody Lowe brings him down. Just shy of the San Diego Charger 10-yard line. Evans statistics, 15 rushes for 47 yards in 1981 and a couple of touchdowns, so he can run with the football.
Vince Evans is a great athlete. He's always been able to scramble very well, and actually he hasn't had to do it very much today because his offensive line has given him such good protection.
A big third down play for these Bears. Third and 9. The ball at the 12. And Evans wants to put it in the air. Got a man, and it is batted down. Lyndon King batted it down and almost picked it off. We'll leave you for just a moment for Byron Day in New York. Byron?
Okay, Phil, thank you very much. Kansas City trying to get on the scoreboard. Bill Kinney trying to rally his mates. He goes for the deep 6, but is picked off in the end zone by Oakland's Otis McKinney. The score still stands 17-zip Oakland in the third quarter. Phil?
Another big surprise. Oakland beating the Kansas City Chiefs. If the Chargers continue to lose here today, that will mean all three of the teams that were tied for the division lead coming in will still be tied. John Rovetto will try a 29-yarder. It is down. Perfect. And a flag goes down. And you wonder if it'll be roughing the kicker on Wyatt Henderson. And I believe that is exactly the call. We'll wait just a moment. Watch number 32 in white.
Well, Phil, he was blocked into the man. I don't know if the officials saw that, but Wyatt Henderson was blocked into the man.
Oh, boy. You're exactly right. If he is blocked into the kicker, there should be no call. However, that is an automatic first down for the Chicago Bears, and you've got to believe they'll take the 3 points off and go for the touchdown.
Well, I'm sure they will, but as we could see clearly on that replay, Wyatt Henderson was coming on a good angle, the angle he's supposed to be on, but he was blocked.
Personal foul, running into the kicker. The captain accepted the first down and goal to go and declined to take the 3 points.
Well, he was blocked by Robin Earl, but the officials did not see it that way. So they'll bring the 3 points off of the scoreboard, and the Bears will go for it from the San Diego 6-yard line. First and goal, Chicago. He'll go no place. He starts out to his left, tried to turn it back to his right, could go nowhere. It is Louis Kelcher on the stop, the 7th-year man out of Southern Methodist. And the Chargers defense has to make something happen, Gene.
Well, Walter Payton is very strong, but he's no match for number 74, Louis Kelcher. When it rains, it pours, and the Bears have had everything going their way so far today. They continue to get another break. In that situation, I definitely thought they got the best part of that board because I still think the Wyatt Henderson was blocked into the kicker.
Payton, right side, to the 5, inside the 5, near the 3. It is Bob Horn there on the bottom of the pile.
Bill, these Bears are playing with a spirit that you don't see that often. The fans, they're certainly happy with the way things are going so far. And number 34, Walter Payton, is enjoying an outstanding day. And if anyone wants this team to be successful, he's the guy that does, because he puts his heart into every football play.
Now the capacity crowd here at Soldier Field cannot believe what they are seeing today. Listen to him come to life. Third and goal at the San Diego 3. Payton. And again the Chargers shut it off.
Bill, do you go for it, the field goal, or you go for the touchdown?
I'll tell you, I've got to go for the field goal. You're up by 7, 3 more could put it away. I think I'd go for the field goal, and I think Neil Armstrong agrees.
The fans want the touchdown.
Yeah, sure. If I'm a fan, I want the touchdown also. Well, when you look back to last week's game, that big loss to Detroit, how many times were they turned away then? So, you know, Neil Armstrong, Vince Evans, they remember that. You've got to go for percentages. This would give them a 10-point lead. John Rovetto. An 18-yarder, a chip shot. It is up. It is wide right. Can you believe it? They had the field goal a moment ago before the roughing the kicker penalty against the Chargers. They elected to take away the 3 points, go for the touchdown, and they lose this time around. We'll be back in just a moment.
Let's get the numbers out of the way. This new 1982 Pontiac.
You take a look at John Rivetto, and Gene, you have to wonder, that missed field goal, how much will that take out of the Chicago Bears?
Well, the Bears are still ahead, and they're playing outstanding football. I don't think it's going to hurt them that much. I think the key, though, is what is it going to do to the Chargers? Are they going to get an inspirational lift and come back and do something on offense?
Now here comes San Diego. They trail in this ball game with 39 seconds to play on the third period, 10-3. Wide receivers, Joyner and Wes Chandler, and Fouts wants to put it up. He goes to the underneath man. His tight end, Kellen Winslow. Good move. He put a super move on Otis Wilson, but he got a lot of help from Terry Schmidt, the left side corner.
Winslow's showing that great athletic ability, catching the ball on the sideline and then coming back inside, showing some nifty running.
Well, San Diego with a first down out at the 35-yard line. Charlie Joyner goes to the top of your screen. Wes Chandler to the bottom. A give is a James Brooks. And he's across the 40-yard line before he is tackled by Jeff Fisher.
Fouts is mixing them up a little bit, coming with a little quick trap. Brooks bounces outside for the game.
So at the end of the third quarter, the score is Chicago 10, San Diego 3. We'll be right back after these messages from your local stations. AQ TV's News Chopper 5. We look down on beautiful Soldier Field on a brisk fall evening in the Windy City. Temperature in the low 40s. For San Diego, it has been much colder than that. They trail 10-3 as we begin the fourth period. James Brooks on second down and 3. He's got running room and a first down before Otis Wilson snags him by the neck.
Brooks shows his tremendous speed as he beats number 73, Mike Hartenstein, to the outside, but he can't get away from 55, Otis Wilson, who just sort of grabs him from behind and throws him down. But Phil, I sort of get the sense that the Chargers are on track now. It appears to me as though they're playing with a little more confidence on offense.
First and 10, San Diego. The ball out now at the 48-yard line. In motion, tight end Kellen Winslow, and Fouts will retreat to put it in the air. And he's got a man. It is James Brooks. And he tries to put a move on Jeff Fisher, and Fisher was going to have none of it. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Chicago Bears and the National Football League is prohibited. Second and 6, Chargers at the Chicago 48. Down to the bottom of your screen, it is Wes Chandler. Kick wide right. In motion, Winslow. Fouts. Chased out of the pocket. Now he goes for it. He's got Joyner. And it is knocked away. At the 18-yard line, Terry Schmidt with an excellent bit of defensive work.
Again, the Bears continue to be aggressive on defense as they went with their 5 linemen, 1 linebacker, and 5 defensive backs. Fouts is trying to get the ball downfield, but the ball got caught up in the air a little bit and fluttered. Had that ball been thrown a little more direct, it might have had a completion and a nice big gain out of it.
Boy, did you see that time of possession? 33.5 minutes for Chicago, 11.5 minutes for San Diego. First downs, 19 for the Bears, 5 for the Chargers. It is third and 6. And Fouts will put it up. A lot of pressure. He's got a man. It is Chandler, and he throws behind him. A flag goes down. And you've got to wonder if it'll be pass interference.
Pass interference or defensive holding, or maybe an illegal chuck. It appears as though something happened downfield against Wes Chandler. And I think one of the Bears is going to be guilty of either illegal chuck downfield. There it is, defensive holding downfield.
So it's a big play for San Diego. It was third and 6. Had that ball fallen incomplete, it would have been a punting situation for the Chargers.
The Chargers have not done very well on their conversions, on their third down conversions thus far.
Let's take a listen.
Holding, number 25, defense, automatic first down.
We take a look at Joyner goes downfield, and he's being held by number 25. There it is, Todd Bell.
First and 10, San Diego. Second man through. It's James Brooks. And he is inside the 40-yard line of the Chicago Bears before Jeff Fisher and Mike Hartenstein combined to shove him the other way. Boy, an interesting statistic, Gene. Dan Fouts has not thrown an interception in his last 129 attempts coming into today's game. That's the record. He's awfully far away from the record. 294 by Bart Starr back in the 1964-65 seasons. Look at this one. Fifth inning score. New York continues to lead the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series, 1-0. Series tied at 2 games all. In motion, John Capoletti to the bottom of your screen. The give is to the only man left. And it's James Brooks, and Mike Hartenstein shuts it off.
Still, there's plenty of time left. 12:28 to go, but I had the sense that this is a very key situation for the Chargers. They want to get some points out of this drive, and if Chicago can shut the Chargers down and not allow them to score any points on this drive, it's going to be a long uphill battle for the Chargers for the rest of this quarter.
Well, it has been a well-played game here this afternoon. 3rd and 4 as you hear the Chicago fans come alive. Fouts. Got a man, James Brooks. He is nailed, and the ball drops free. Otis Wilson with the hit. And just look at this defensive unit of the Chicago Bears.
Bill, again, the passing scheme of the Chargers is being disrupted. Their timing between quarterback and receivers is being disrupted. Fouts is still getting good protection from his offensive line. He comes out, he has plenty of time to throw the football, but he gets the ball just a little bit high. And 55, Otis Wilson is there, and he makes a good pop on the receiver, knocks the football away. Look at that, San Francisco ahead in the 3rd quarter.
It is 4th and 3, and the Chargers are going. In the middle, Kellen Winslow has the ball and a first down at the Bears' 30-yard line. The man he beat was Doug Plank, the 7th-year man out of Ohio State.
Bill, I mentioned before that I thought that this drive was key for the Chargers, and evidently they feel the same way as they go for it on 4th down. Kellen Winslow, number 80, he gets his hands on the football, and the thing that he's thinking about, I got the football, I have to keep it, and he does the job.
Well, I'll tell you, Charger receivers continue to take vicious hits from these Chicago Bears. They have come to play. Dan will throw for Joyner. It is almost picked off by Terry Schmidt. They're calling it incomplete.
And are the Chargers lucky in that situation? Because Dan Fouts played the ball out in the corner for Joyner, but number 44, Terry Schmidt, was in excellent position, and you'll see he has the football, but he just can't control it as he goes down, and it bounces away. What a break for the Chargers.
Now Dan Fouts, 7 of 25. Can you believe that? 28% completion rate coming into today's game. He was averaging 61.5%. The Bears now employing 6 defensive backs on 2nd and 10. And a couple of the Bears jump flags go down. Fouts with a free play. He unloads. Reuben Henderson picked it off. Wes Chandler brought him down. I've got to believe it's going to be offside against the Bears unless the ruling is the Chargers pulled them offside.
Well, I don't think so, and the early indication is that it's against the Bears. Fouts knew that he had the free down, so he's just going to go for it as we take a look. Well, we saw the Bears jump off sides. But, Bill, it seems to be an indication of that things are just not going the Chargers' way. They had the free down and they went for it, came up with the interception.
Offside, number 99, defense, repeat the down.
Well, you take away that interception. Dan Fouts has now thrown 154 passes without an interception. It is 2nd and 5. Winslow in motion. Draw play. Capoletti tries the right side. And he'll pick up a couple of yards before Jeff Fisher shuts it down. We'll leave you. We'll return in a moment. But right now, Byron Day in New York.
Okay, Phil, thank you very much. Over at Shea Stadium, the Seahawks are really taking it to the Jets now. Sherman Smith blasts his way for 4 yards and 6. They missed the point after, but the Seahawks are still on top, 19-3 now in the 4th quarter. Phil?
Well, as we mentioned, the Jets have never beaten the Seattle Seahawks. Again, we want to tell you our shot from the air comes to you from WMAQ TV's News Chopper 5, NBC affiliate in Chicago. 3rd and 4, San Diego. Charlie Joyner in motion. Fouts over the middle. Got Joyner. A 22-yard scoring pass on 3rd and 4. Dan Fouts, only his 8th completion of the day, Gene.
He may not have many completions, but he sure got one that counted on this play. Joyner's coming across, going from left to right, and you can see he's going to turn up. Goes into the middle, and as I mentioned before, I was sure that San Diego would go in at halftime and they'd figure out how to come back and combat this bump and run defense that the Bears are employing. And that's a good result, a touchdown.
Well, Finish will try and tie it, and he does so. And so the Chargers have finally scored a touchdown here this evening with 10 minutes, 15 seconds to play. And the ball game, we are tied at Soldier Field. Chargers 10, the Bears 10. Is set to kick off. Number 43 for the Bears is Emery Moorhead. Benershka has just tied this ball game with an extra point, and he sends a swimmer down, bouncing at the 22. It's still bouncing. Jeff Fisher has the ball at the 24-yard line, and he is down right there by Billy Brooks and Hank Bauer. You wonder, Gene, if the Chargers have any idea that Kansas City is still losing to Oakland 17-0. Buffalo has defeated the Denver Broncos 9-7. If the Chargers come back and win this ball game, they will be in sole possession of first place in the AFC West.
Well, the Chargers are an outstanding football team, a veteran ball club. They know how to come back when things are down, and the momentum seems to have shifted their way now. But this series by the Bears on offense is going to be key. If they can get something going again, it's going to be a tough ball game.
Play action, double pump. Vince Evans got a man. Marjoram. Hold on. Boy, he had Bob Greger beaten, and he simply dropped the football.
But what happened that time, Phil, was that the Bears, as you can see, as Evans is delivering the football, Marjoram is down in the middle, and he's open, but again, he takes his eye off the football a little bit. And you can forgive a receiver sometimes in this situation because he saw out of the side of his eye number 43 Bob Greger sitting there, and had he caught that football, he would have gotten the shot right to the top.
Walter Payton. Running room, a cleft to 30-yard line. He'll be out near the first down, about 1.5 yards, possibly 2 yards shy. Pete Shaw.
The ball carrier stopped by King and Ferguson.
Lyndon King, Keith Ferguson are there. Look at this one. The Rams, as you say, coming back. San Francisco 20. Los Angeles 17 in the 3rd period. But Bill Walsh has just done a marvelous job with the 49ers this year. The Bears with 2 tight ends. Walter Payton now 28 carries, 79 yards. Tight end Robin Earl. The give is to Matsui across the left side. Well, he's close to the first down, and he got it.
Matsui continues to do a good job running the football. There's that first down. Bill, I mentioned before, I said that the momentum has shifted San Diego's way, but I thought that the key would be how would the Bears respond on offense. Looks like they're responding very well. Vince Evans seems to be very cool, and if he continued to throw the football as he did in the first half, he's going to make things awfully tough for San Diego.
Play action. Evans, sideline, Finish-1981. He's got it, and Willie Buchanan takes him out of bounds. And I'll tell you, Gene, it is so incredible that Finish-1981 is even playing today as you look at the cast on his left wrist. Heavily bandaged. He's got a broken bone in that wrist.
Phil, the only time that a receiver really has a problem when you're playing with a cast on your arm is when you have to reach out and try to get the ball out in front of you. But that football was delivered right to the numbers. And again, Vince Evans is delivering the football on time, and it's hitting his receivers right on the numbers.
Finish-1981, number 84, 4 receptions for 63 yards and 2 fumble recoveries. First and 10, Chicago with the ball at the San Diego 48. Walter Payton. He's got running room near the San Diego 40. Keith Ferguson, the rookie out of Ohio State, is there to bring him down.
Walter Payton continues to run the ball as he always has with a lot of authority. He's got Zanders out in front, number 79. And there's 65, Noah Jackson, helping out. Walter Payton uses that tremendous strength that he has in his legs and tremendous determination and makes another 3 or 4 yards even after he's hit.
It is second down. 2 yards to go. Matsui has the football, and he will be shy of the first down. He'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. The defensive tackles pinch to make the stop. Louis Kelcher, Gary Big Hands Johnson.
Number 90, John Woodcock, they were trying to trap in there, but Woodcock came down and shut down the play. Woodcock is really playing well at that defensive end position.
Now he came to the Chargers in a trade this year with the Detroit Lions. 6'3", 255, wears number 90. Third and 2. A double tight end situation. Robin Earl is in motion. The give is to Suey. Close to the first down. The second, third effort. I still think he's going to be shy. Tremendous pursuit by Gary Johnson. And he is stopped short, about a yard short.
Number 43, Bob Greger, really came up from that safety spot and put a shot on Suey. Prevented him from making that first down, and the fans are roaring, go, go, go.
Well, it is 4th down and 1. And you've got to believe the Bears will, in fact, go for it. As you look at John Rivetto, 1 for 3 today in the field goal department. He was signed after Bob Thomas went out with an injury. 6 seconds, 5 seconds left on the 30-second clock. The give, Matsui, left side, second effort, first down, Chicago.
What a run by number 26, Matsui, as the fans respond. And he runs over the guy who stopped him short before. You'll see Matsui, number 26, just bowl over Bob Greger. He meets him right in the line, but Suey says, I'm going to get the first down, and he just keeps going. Willie Buchanan's back in the ball game, and he comes up to help out.
Now the Chargers had allowed only 105 yards a game. The Charger defense, 6th in the NFL. They have given up considerably more than that today. Flags go down. Walter Payton with the football. And he is really hammered to the turf inside the Charger 30-yard line.
Until as that clock continues to tick down, Chicago is doing now what they did in the first half. They're holding on to the football.
And the call, the penalty is against the Chargers. I believe it is offsides against San Diego. Don Coryell looks on with a rather strained expression on his face. And it is, in fact, against San Diego. Take a listen.
Offside, defense, first down, 5.
Well, it's now 1st and 5 for the Chicago Bears at the 30-yard line. And not one fan has left Soldier Field this evening. Payton and Suey, the running back. Flags go down. I would guess encroachment.
Maybe illegal procedure this time against the Bears.
That's what John Woodcock is pointing at. Let's listen.
Illegal procedure, offensive center.
Now take a look at this shot.
I think Dan Neal moves the ball a little bit, and then there it is. There it is. Moves the ball a little bit early.
Now Gary Johnson took it. And they'll walk it off 5. Penalties are even, 8 for either team. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to play on this ball game. We are tied. The Bears 10, the Chargers 10. First and 10, Chicago, and Vince Evans wants to put it in the air. Baschnagel. First down, Chicago at the Charger 20. Willie Buchanan and Pete Shaw, the safeties combined to bring it down.
Again, Vince Evans throws the football like an all-pro. He drops back, and you watch the way he throws the football. There's no hesitation at all as he finds Brian Baschnagel down there, and he delivers the football right between the numbers. Excellent pass and excellent reception. And as we mentioned before, Baschnagel is playing with that cast on his left arm.
That's the 23rd first down for the Chicago Bears today. Evans 13 for 30, 186 yards. From the 20, Walter Payton. And he is dragged down by Lyndon King. Let's go now to Studio 6A in New York and Byron Day. Byron?
Okay, Phil, in Texas Stadium, the Miami Dolphins have just moved out ahead of the Cowboys on Tony Nathan's 10-yard run. With 11:34 left in the third quarter, it's now 20-14 Miami. Let's go back to Phil Stone and Gene Washington.
20-14 Dolphins. Good news for Miami fans. Here at Soldier Field, we have 3:50 to play on this ball game. It is 2nd and 5 at the San Diego 16. Matsui near the 10, still on his feet.
Matsui is playing inspired football as we look at him on this replay. He stumbles a little bit, but you'll see the blow that he delivers to Bob Greger, number 43, and he's not going down. He just continues to run. What an outstanding effort on the part of number 26, Matsui.
Well, the Bears moving it deeper and deeper into San Diego territory as you see Bob Greger being led off the field. Appears to have his bell rung. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to play on this ball game. I'll tell you, Matsui has taken some shots this afternoon, Gene, and just continues to bounce off the defense. Sui, 19 carries, 58 yards, and you got to believe 15 of those yards are coming on second efforts.
But look at that blow that he delivers to Bob Greger. And Sui is not a big ball player. He looks as though he's about 5'10", but I'll tell you, he's got an awful lot of power for a guy that size.
And listen to this crowd here at Soldier Field. The clock is moving, 3 minutes, 15 seconds to play. Walter Payton. And the Chargers are not able to contain him as he runs around the left side, around Ray Preston, and out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Walter Payton runs into one of his own guards, I think, in this play a little early. There he is. He's running to Noah Jackson. Then he bounces out, and watch this, stretches out that stride and beats everybody around the corner and picks up a little gain instead of taking a loss.
It is Bob Horn who shoved him out of bounds, not Ray Preston. And the Bears employ now the 2 tight end formation, and they want to take a few minutes to talk about it. As the Bears call a timeout, Vince Evans strolls to the near sideline. Wow, 3 minutes, 4 seconds to play in the game. And we are tied. The Bears 10, the Chargers 10. Gene, we should mention our producer Ken Edmondson said before the ball game he would not be at all surprised if the Chicago Bears upset the San Diego Chargers.
Well, he must have talked to number 8 Vince Evans, because he looks like a super all-pro today. He has delivered the football right on the money all day long.
Payton. 76 yards. The Chicago Bears used 7 minutes, 16 seconds of the fourth quarter to put themselves ahead 16-10.
Walter Payton took it over for the touchdown, and he did something that you're not supposed to do. He was so happy he threw the football into the stands. He said, I'll take the penalty and the fine or whatever it is. I'm so happy. Let the fans share in and give him the football.
John Rovetta will try and make it 17-10. Perfect. And so the big offense we thought we would see from San Diego, we are seeing from Chicago. This picture brought to you by News Chopper 5. News Chopper 5 brings you aerial news reports with Gary Lee, weekdays at 4:30 on Chicago's News Center, Channel 5.
Go, cover, Willie, cover!
John Rovetta is set to kick it away. James Brooks at the 4. And Brooks tried to put a move on number 21, Leslie Frazier, and he could not get around him. Let's take a look at that Chicago touchdown again. A work of art, Gene.
You think Walter Payton wants this touchdown? He's got Noah Jackson and Xanders out in front of him. And look at this. Over. We may get to see a shot of it. There it is. Walter says, you fans can share on this one as he puts the football up into the stands in the end zone.
Well, that'll cost him $200, but he'll gladly pay it for a 17-10 lead with 2 minutes, 50 seconds to play. And the Chargers have got to put it in the air. And his bounce goes for Wes Chandler, and he simply overthrew him. His bounce goes down. Jeff Fisher with the hit. Oh, you want to talk about total domination? Chicago has dominated 40 minutes and 47 seconds. San Diego has had the football just 16 minutes. 83 plays for the Bears, 43 for San Diego.
The Bears have been aggressive all day long on defense. With the way they're playing in that play, number 24, Jeff Fisher, came in with a blitz, putting the pressure on Fouts. Dan had to get rid of the football before he wanted to.
2nd and 10. Fouts goes for number 87, Dwight Scales. He's got him. A first down out of the 46-yard line. Terry Schmidt on the stop.
Schmidt on the coverage.
Number 87, Dwight Scales, comes into the ball game and gets a key reception here. Backs his man straight off. And number 44, Terry Schmidt, does not want to get caught and give up a big play in this situation, so he's playing back off, trying to make things happen in front of him, and the Chargers connect.
Oh, the Chicago Bears sideline looks like a rejuvenated team. 1st and 10, San Diego. Fouts under pressure, throwing for Winslow, and he overthrows him. Felon was wide open at the 28-yard line.
Bill, you're right, he was wide open, but the thing that we're seeing today that we haven't seen very much is that the Chargers' pass offense is being disrupted in terms of timing. Fouts dropped back, but he had to throw the ball sort of on the run, and that's something that they haven't had to do very much. This football team likes to throw the ball on time. Fouts gets rid of the ball quickly. He makes a short drop, throws the ball on time, but the Bears are not allowing him to do that because they're playing the receiver so tight, and there's a lot of bump and run defense.
2nd and 10, San Diego. 2:06 to play. Chargers trailing 17-10. Fouts. He's got Charlie Joyner. He'll get out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Now that was a smart play by the wily Charlie Joyner. He got out of bounds, Gene, with 2 minutes and 1 second to play. They will get an extra play and then the 2-minute warning, so they will not have to take another timeout to stop the clock.
Well, they don't call Charlie Joyner the professional for nothing. He's a very bright football player.
Well, he has done it all, everything that has been asked of him by the San Diego Chargers since joining this club. Fouts is now 10 of 30 for 199 yards. Wes Chandler, Charlie Joyner, go to the top of your screen, wide right. 1st and 10, San Diego with the Bears, 39. Fouts goes for it. And it is almost picked off. Wes Chandler, the intended receiver. Terry Schmidt was almost there to pick it off as Fouts went down in a heap. Jim Osborne was right there to bring Fouts down.
Well, the Bears continue to use their 5-man line, and they put the pressure on Fouts, and he has to throw the football up. And number 44, Terry Schmidt, is right there to knock it away.
Al
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1974. John Madden and Kenny Stabler must come up with a touchdown play to beat Miami. Oakland trails by 5 as Stabler drops back. Nothing looks very promising. Stabler's being chased. He starts to run. He flings the ball forward as he falls. And Clarence Davis makes an unbelievable grab in the end zone for a 28-26 Raider victory.
Gene Washington here at Soldier Field. And who would have ever believed the Chicago Bears would be leading the high-powered offense of the San Diego Chargers 17-10. But in reality, Gene, they have led most of the game and dominated all of it.
Well, they've played inspired football, and they're just letting things hang out. They haven't made very many mistakes as a result of it, and they're ahead.
2nd and 10. Fouts with time. He throws for Joyner, double coverage. And it is almost picked up again as Dan throws it up for grabs. Terry Schmidt was there once more.
Well, Dan knew that he didn't have very much there, and he tried to just lay the football up where Joyner would have a chance for a reception or maybe even a possible pass interference. You get a pass interference down there, that's just as good as a reception.
Now the Chicago Bears, you mentioned pass interference, have committed a couple of costly pass interference situations. One last Monday night against Reuben Henderson. 3rd and 10. Big play for the Chargers. 1:47 to play. Chicago leads it 17-10. Listen to this crowd. Fouts got plenty of room to run it. He throws it. Chandler. Over Terry Schmidt. You can't cover Wes Chandler. Much better than that, Gene.
Chandler had a step on him, but when the ball was thrown, Terry Schmidt closed the gap. He did his job, but he didn't knock the football down all the way. Wes Chandler was alert enough to watch the bounce. Football came right down into his hands for 6 points.
Boy, a big extra point try now by Rolf Benerska. And he drills it. And that quiets the crowd here at Soldier Field. Holy Toledo, have we got a ball game for you? 1:40 to play. The Chargers and the Bears deadlocked 17-all.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
The people in St. Louis know their beer. But as a master brewer,
driving 74 yards, using up just 1:19 on the clock. 7 plays to go, 74 yards, capped by the 39-yard touchdown pass to Wes Chandler. A short kick by Benerska. It is Emery Moorhead, and he is hit at the 25-yard line by who else? Number 37, Hank Bauer, the howitzer. Gene, the question is, if you're a Chicago Bear, how do you feel now that the Chargers have come back to tie it with just 1:37 to play?
Well, Phil, the important thing is that they're tied. They're not behind. And if I were the Bears, I wouldn't take many chances, particularly when I'm on my own 26-yard line. You don't want to turn the ball over at this point to the Chargers. I think they may tend to be a little bit conservative and try to play field position.
Vince Evans will put it in the air. He's got a man, Kenny Marjoram, at the 42. Bob Greger is there to stop him. And Chicago will employ the hurry-up offense. 1:23, 1:22 in this ball game, tied 17-all. Vince Evans releases it to Max Sewell, and he is hammered down at the 48-yard line as Keith Ferguson, the rookie out of Ohio State, tremendous speed to bring Suey down from behind. A first down for Chicago. The clock continues to run. We are inside a minute, 56 seconds to play. Vince Evans, time.
Hey, fire away to the chuck.
And it is thrown at Pete Shaw. Flags go down. And you wonder if it is offensive holding. And that is exactly the call. Critical call.
Well, Phil, the Bears changed their field position around in 2 pass plays. They've played aggressive football all game long, and I guess they've said we're not going to change our style now. We're going to keep going that way. Field position becomes so important in this situation. Even if the game ends in a tie and you have to go into overtime, field position becomes very critical.
Now John Rivetto could be a very, very important man for the Chicago Bears. He is 1 of 4 in the field goal department. Let's take a listen.
Holding, number 78, offense, repeat first down.
It's the rookie out of Southern Cal, Keith Van Horn. Take a look at, keep your eyes on number 78, the bottom of your screen.
That's a takedown, a nice takedown. That'd be okay in a wrestling match.
And the guy he took down was Gary Johnson. Vince Evans, 15 of 32, 214 yards. Trouble. Vince Evans will scramble. Evans for 15 yards.
As we mentioned before, Vince Evans is a great athlete. As you could see on that play, when he turned it upfield, he has outstanding speed, and he gains most of that yardage back. And they're going to be pretty close to field goal range. Take a look at this. He breaks up the middle, breaks the tackle there, and he really turns on the speed. And he knows that he has to get out of bounds, but not before he can get all of the yards he can. What an afternoon he's had. Number 8, Vince Evans. Super performance.
Second down and 7. The ball at the San Diego 43. Evans trying to get in field goal range, and he just throws behind his tight end, Robin Earl. Good coverage on the play by the outside linebacker on the right side for San Diego, Woody Lowe. 6 feet, 227 out of Alabama. Boy, a gutsy performance here this afternoon by this entire Chicago Bear team. 1-6 coming in. A team that averages just 15.5 points a game and is allowing 25, almost 26 points a game. They have played a tremendous football game.
They certainly don't look like a team that's 1-6. And Vince Evans looks like a super quarterback today.
Evans on 3rd and 7. Time now unloads it. And the man he was looking for again is tight end Robin Earl. Tremendous pressure by the Chargers. Louis Kelcher was back there. Big Hands Johnson was there, as was John Woodcock.
Well, the Chargers are a championship football team, and they come to play, and you can see here this pressure that the defensive line puts on Evans. Louis Kelcher, Gary Johnson, they're all there, and they force Vince Evans to give up the football.
Now they'll kick it away now on 4th and 7. Bob Parsons is in the game. The theory being pin the Chargers as deep in the own into the field as they can with just 32 seconds to play and send it into overtime. However, they could possibly fake it. No, they won't. They'll try and put it out of bounds. And it will not go out of bounds. Instead, it goes into the end zone, a touchback. The Chargers will have the football at the 20-yard line and 23 seconds to do something with it. Well, have we seen a ball game here today in Chicago? With 23 seconds to play, we are tied at 17 against the Bears. Their last meeting, as we talked about at the top of the telecast, back in 1978 when the Chargers blew the Bears away 40-7. 23 seconds to play. Dan Fouts will try and put it in the air. He's got Kellen Winslow. And Kellen is out across the 43-yard line. 15 seconds to play. The clock is stopped. San Diego calls the first of their 3 timeouts.
Chicago going that time with the free safety blitz as they brought number 46, Doug Plank, up the middle.
You wonder the wisdom of blitzing in this situation, Gene, when you're just trying to keep a team down. We'll come back. We'll talk about that more with 15 seconds to play. We'll be back in just a moment. Identification, this television network.
MAQ TV, Chicago.
Bill Stone with Gene Washington at Soldier Field. We are tied at 17-all with 15 seconds to play. Fouts on 1st and 10 is going for Charlie Joyner, and he is out. The ball is overthrown, and Joyner's jumping around at the 30-yard line, claiming he was interfered with by Terry Schmidt. The officials didn't see it that way. We'd like to welcome those viewers that have just joined us. The San Diego Chargers and Chicago Bears game still in progress. As I told you, we are tied with 10 seconds to play. It is San Diego 17, the Chicago Bears 17. Here's Boomer, will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time. 2nd and 10, San Diego with the ball at the 43. 10 seconds to play. 9, 8. Fouts is going for it. He's got Chandler. And Chandler cannot hold the football. Ruben Henderson running step for step with him as the clock ticks down to 3 seconds.
That football went right through Wes Chandler's hands and hit him in the stomach. Had he caught that one, they would have been in perfect position for a field goal. Fouts delivers a beautiful pass here, and as you can see on this replay, the ball goes right through his hands. There it is. Oh, right in the stomach. They would have been about the 20-yard line, and Rolf Benerski would have been warming up his leg right now.
Yeah, there was a chip shot for Rolf from right in that area, but it was not to be, and Wes Chandler will think about that one for a long, long time. In case you're wondering where this football is going, you'd better bet the farm on the end zone. With 3 seconds to play in regulation, Dan Fouts, plenty of time, goes right over the middle to Kellen Winslow. The 35, the 30, and he will take on about 4 Chicago Bears. We are out of time. We are going into overtime. We have seen a whale of a football game today. The Chicago Bears took the early lead. San Diego kept coming, and kept coming. And with just 1 minute, 37 seconds to play, they finally tied the game up, Gene, at 17 all. What can you say about the Chicago Bears?
Well, the one thing you can say that all of the fans have certainly gotten their money's worth. It's an excellent football game. And there at number 8, Vince Evans has just done a super job today. He's been right on the money with his passing. That's opened up the running game. Walter Payton continues to do an outstanding job whenever he touches the football. Now we've gone into overtime. The Chargers have fought their way back for the tie, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. We have the coin toss.
Well, earlier on, we talked all day long about the ineffectiveness of Dan Fouts, the fact that he, quite frankly, was having a horrendous afternoon. He is right now 13 for 37.
After the toss for the overtime, there will be a 3-minute intermission before we kick the ball. Pool count, 74. Heads, tails, call it in the air. Tails. It comes up ahead. Chicago choice. You want the football? What's your choice of goals, Captain?
So the Chicago Bears will have the football when we come back for overtime from Soldier Field. Stay right where you are. Bill Stone with Gene Washington at Soldier Field in Chicago. We'll be right back with the overtime period after these messages from your local station. Here at Soldier Field in the windy city of Chicago, it's the first overtime period for the San Diego Chargers in 1981, and the first for the Chicago Bears also. Walter Payton has rushed for 97 yards. If he makes it over 100, it will be the first time this year that Walter has been across the 100-yard plateau. The Bears will have the football first, and Rolf Benerski will kick it down to Emery Moorhead at the 8. Fowler almost grabbed him at about the 13. He could not bring him down. The Bears will have the football and will begin from their own 20-yard line. Let's run down a few scores around the league. Denver lost to the Buffalo Bills 9-7. It was Washington over New England 24-22. Cleveland thoroughly thrashing the Baltimore Colts 42-28. Philadelphia over Tampa. The Giants surprised Atlanta by 3 in overtime. First and 10, Chicago and San Diego deadlocked at 17. Walter Payton. And he's out just about to the line of scrimmage, possibly a yard. A few other scores around the league for you today. St. Louis upsetting the Minnesota Vikings 30-17. Detroit over Green Bay 31-27. New Orleans upsetting Cincinnati 17-7. And we have had a great ball game all day long. Second and 10. Long count, Vince Evans rolling left. Now throws from Matsui, and he's got it out at the 27-yard line. Running step for step with him was Cliff Thrift, and he brings him down 4 yards shy of the first down. Look at this one in the fourth period, a real shootout in Irvine, where Dallas leads the Miami Dolphins 28-27. Seattle over the Jets 19-3. And Oakland leading Kansas City 17-14. The Chiefs are coming back. They trailed that one 17-0. 3rd and 3. Vince Evans will go for it. And his tight end, his running back Walter Payton. I thought that was Robin Earl for a moment there. Could not get to the football, and the Bears will have to give it up. Here's Boomer, will be seen immediately following the conclusion of this ball game, except for most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations, where it will be seen at its regular time. And you don't want to miss. Here's Boomer.
Phil, I mentioned before that field position is going to be key in this situation. The Chargers have stopped the Bears, forcing them to punt. Now, if they can get a good run back, they're going to have the good field position.
That's a short kick by Parson. And number 29, Mike Williams, who is not used to returning punts, makes the fair catch at the 48. Great field position for the Chargers when we come back right now to New York.
All right, Phil Stone, thank you much. Down in Dallas, it would seem the Cowboys have preserved a 1-point victory against the Dolphins. David Woodley going for it, and Everson Walls comes up with his 8th interception of the year. That leads the league. With 50 seconds left, the Cowboys are ahead by a point. Phil?
Thank you very much, Bryant. Again, Bryant Gumbel working the marathon shift in Studio 6A in New York. The Chargers with the football. We are in overtime. The ball is batted up in the air. And it falls harmlessly to the ground.
Dan Fouts is going to go over and make sure that it fell to the ground. He tries to deliver the ball over the middle to one of the running backs, and it gets batted up in the air. And you can see Alan Page, and you can see Dan is trying to go over to make sure that no one else gets that football. Take another look. Alan Page always comes up with a big play, and you can see him here, sticks that arm up even as he's being blocked. And bats it away.
So often Ted Hendricks is credited with the most blocked kicks in the NFL. Alan Page has 26. James Brooks, left side, running room. And he's got a first down, or he's awfully close to it, and I believe he has it out of bounds at the Chicago Bear 42. He had to get to the 43, and that should be good enough for the first down, and it is. Bruce Herron chased him out. There you see Dave Levy, offensive line coach, sending the signals in for the San Diego Chargers. Dave Levy, it's his birthday today, his 49th birthday. Gene, he was your coach at Long Beach Poly High School. I know a little bit about Mr. Levy.
Unfortunately, I had to play against him at USC.
1st and 10, San Diego, the ball at the 42. The give to James Brooks, and he'll advance it near the 40-yard line. Clock continues to run here in the overtime period. 13 minutes to play, 17-17. Dan Fouts is thrown now for 295 yards. The record against the Chicago Bears, 348, set by Steve DeBerg. In fact, it was just exactly 2 years ago.
Bill, number 46, Chuck Muncie, has checked into the ball game. Muncie is an outstanding pass receiver. He's got that cast on his arm, but he can still catch the football. Oh!
Charlie Joyner had his back to the football, and I think he knows it now. I think he knows it.
He wasn't expecting the ball to come that soon, and he was running, trying to get deep down the middle. They had seen something in that defense. As you can see, Fouts releases the ball fairly quickly, takes a 5-step drop, but Charlie Joyner's not even looking, doesn't expect the football.
I tell you, I don't think there's a better receiver in all of professional football, Gene, who finds the seams in zone defenses better than number 18.
Well, there's a little opening there, but number 45, Gary Fissett, was still back there, and he was still in good position.
Big play, San Diego, 3rd and 8 at the 40. Fouts with time, delivers. It is Joyner, a flag is down. He has the first down. I believe the Chargers are going to be whistled for holding. And it's either going to be against Doug Wilkerson or number 62, Don Masick. And I think it's Don Masick, the center.
Illegal use of the hands, I think, is going to be the call.
That stops the clock now in overtime. 12 minutes, 21 seconds to play. Chicago took a 7-0 lead. San Diego came back and got 3 on a field goal. Chicago responded with a field goal of its own, led 10-3. San Diego came to tie it. Let's listen.
Illegal use of hands. Number 67, offense. Repeat, third down.
It is Ed White. And we'll see if we can see it for you. There's Don Masick right there. I thought that was the hold. So it is third down and 18, the ball at midfield. Bounce, double pump. On the post pattern for Joyner, and it's intercepted. Talked to Reuben Henderson at the top of this game about playing against Charlie Joyner. He said it was going to be a thrill, Gene. I'll bet you he has never experienced more of a thrill in professional football than he has right there.
Well, this ball is clearly overthrown as Charlie Joyner tries to get to it. And number 20, Reuben Henderson, is sitting there waiting for the football. He brings it in.
Al Fouts had thrown 168 completions without an interception prior to that. First down. The give is to Matsui across the left side. He picks up a yard, possibly two on the carry. Gary Johnson is there to bring him down. Now, we interviewed Reuben Henderson at the top of the show, and he talked about playing against the San Diego Charger wide receivers. Reuben, a rookie out of San Diego State, so you can bet he is an awfully happy young man. Now the game could all come down to number 9 there, John Rivetto. He's 1 of 4 today. Second and 8. Vince Evans. And Ken Marjoram was going to look to be a button hook or a little curl, and Evans read it as a possibly stop and go. And he stopped but never went.
Well, Pete Shaw was putting some pressure on Evans, and Evans decided that he had to get rid of the football, and he threw it a little sooner than he wanted to, but he didn't want to take the sack and lose some yardage, and that's a smart play on his part.
Now Vince Evans has thrown for 220 yards today. The Chargers have been giving up an average of 290, dead last in the National Football League. Third down, 8 yards to go for the Bears. Evans, plenty of time, and it's batted away. The ball intended for Walter Payton was knocked away by Willie Buchanan, I believe. Yes, it is. The 10-year man out of San Diego State. So a couple of former Aztecs have played a big, big role in these last 2 series. 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go. It's a punting situation for the Bears. We are overtime at Soldier Field here in Chicago. As Bob Parsons is set to boot it away. Boy, he kicked one today, 55 yards. Long count, no rush. It's a good kick. James Brooks fields it at the 18. And a good return for Brooks. He's out across the 30-yard line before John Skavinsky, the backup fullback, can bring him down. So each team now with 2 possessions here in the overtime period. 11:09 to play. The Charger offense tries to back onto the field as you look at Jim Laslovic come off. Don Coryell. Tremendously intense man, Don Coryell. Neil Armstrong. First and 10, San Diego. James Brooks starts right, now goes left. Now tries to take it up the middle. Boy, we talked about the second effort by Matsui all day long. And look at that second effort by James Brooks.
Russ Washington was startled to find that James Brooks was coming back his way. He thought he was going to go to the right, came back to the left.
Gain of 7. Second and 3.
I want to welcome all of you watching the Miami-Dallas game, and a good one it was. 28-27, the Cowboys hold on to win it. Here at Soldier Field, Bill Stone with Gene Washington. 10 minutes, 28 seconds to play in overtime. The Chargers tying the Bears with 1:32 to play on a 39-yard scoring pass. The Chargers with their second possession here in overtime. Chuck Muncie carrying the ball. He's brought down by Otis Wilson. As you look at the head coach of the San Diego Chargers, Don Coryell. And his counterpart, Neil Armstrong. The Chargers 1-6 coming into today's game. They have totally dominated this ball game. We'll be back at Soldier Field in just a moment, but right now let's go to Bryant Gumbel. Bryant?
Phil, out in Oakland, the Chiefs are now leading the Oakland Raiders. Once down 17-0. The Chiefs now lead 21-17 on a 3-yard score by Billy Jackson. His third of the ball game. There's a minute 54 to play there. Phil?
Thank you for that update, Bryant. Boy, the Oakland Raiders leading 17-0 cannot hold the lead. First and 10, San Diego. The ball at the 43. Fouts. And his intended receiver, Wes Chandler, and Dan threw it right into the ground.
Well, they had two receivers in the same part of the field on that play. Number 80, Kellen Winslow, was right in the flight of the football. And Dan tried to get it out to 86, Wes Chandler.
Fouts 13 of 41. There you see it. 295 yards and 2 touchdowns. 295 yards on 13 completions. Not a bad mark for just 13 completions. On the other hand, Vince Evans, 16 of 37 for 220 yards. Second and 10, San Diego. Fouts sideline for Chandler. It's over his head, out of bounds.
Well, Dan has been missing a little bit. He's been a little off all day long. And again, he was high. Chandler had actually had his man beat. He went downfield for about 18 yards and went to the outside. But Dan got the ball a little high.
Now the Chargers tops in the National Football League in throwing, averaging 295 yards a game. And that's exactly where Dan Fouts sits right now, 295.
But the Bears have given Fouts a problem all day long as they continue to be very aggressive with their defensive play, employing the bump and run all day long, which has thrown up the timing between quarterback and receiver.
The Bears with 6 defensive backs. Fouts time, throws over the middle, picked off.
Has been off all day long. The ball gets to number 45, Gary Vincent from the Bears, who picks off his 4th interception of the year and almost scores a touchdown. But Fouts is the one who knocks him out of bounds. And the fans are going crazy as their Bears have a chance to win the football game here. They're on about the 28-yard line.
Walter Payton with the football, almost got nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Second effort brings it out, a pickup of 4 yards on the carry. Number 57, Lyndon King on the stop.
Bill, I think the Bears are going to keep the football on the ground. They may let Walter Payton get it as close as he can to that goal line. And they're going to let this fella, number 9, John Rivetta, go for the field goal. I don't think they want to risk having an interception.
Now you're exactly right. It is 2nd and 7. The ball at the Charger 25. The give, Matsui tries the left side, running room near the 20. Walter Payton has reached 100 yards for the first time this year. Bob Horn is there to bring Suey down. Well, I remember when Walter Payton used to run for 100 yards almost at the drop of a hat.
Well, the fact that Walter Payton can run for 100 yards when the team is not doing all that well, it's to his credit. He's just an outstanding football player. And as I mentioned before, not only is he a great runner, but he's also an outstanding pass receiver. And today he's caught 3 or 4 passes and got the Bears out of some key difficult situations with this pass receiving ability.
3rd and 4, play action, swings it out to Suey, and he's going to be nailed behind the line of scrimmage. He may have fought his way back to the line. A tremendous second effort by Suey. Leroy Jones was there. Louis Kelcher was there. And here comes John Ravello, and listen to these fans as they come to their feet at Soldier Field.
Well, the Bears didn't want to take many chances. They just get a little dump off out to the right to number 26, Matsui, trying to get him out in front of some of his linemen so that they could get down a little closer. But the Chargers met the challenge and they shut it off.
Well, here we go. John Rivetto will try this one from 40 yards away to win it for Chicago. That flag goes down. I believe it's going to be a kick. The Chicago Bears. Both lines are pointing at each other. We'll have to wait and see. 7 minutes, 31 seconds to play. And it is offside against the Chargers. It'll be awfully close to the first down. As you get a good look at John Rivetto, San Diego brain trust looking on the far sideline.
Encroachment. Contact before the snap. Defense. The penalty will make it a first down by that much.
A first down for Chicago at the San Diego 17-yard line. 7 minutes, 31 seconds to play in overtime. And on trots the Bear offense. And off comes John Rivetto. Earlier in this ball game, Rivetto had kicked a field goal. The Chargers were whistled for roughing the kicker. The Bears took the penalty, took the 3 points off the board, came back, tried to score the touchdown, couldn't do it, and then missed a 19-yard field goal. So it's another first down for the Bears with 27 today. Walter Payton. I think he gets possibly a yard, maybe two. Pete Shaw was there to wrap him up.
Well, the Bears are going to keep the football on the ground. They're going to just try to give Rivetto a clear shot right up the middle for this field goal attempt. There's no point in taking any chances of putting the football in the air.
Robin Earl, the starting tight end, comes back into the ball game. His replacement, Mike Cobb, comes out. Wide to the right is Brian Bashnagel, and what a game he has played for 84. The running backs, Payton and Suey. Now give to Payton, right side.
There's the man, number 34, Walter Payton. Look at this burst of speed. Louis Kelcher can't stop him as he reaches out. Number 55, Bob Horn, tries to do it. Lyndon King comes up and makes the stop.
The clock continues to run. We are inside 6 minutes and 25 seconds now. Bashnagel goes wide right. Third and 4. The give to Matsui, and he'll be stopped short of the first down. Oh, it is now fourth down. And here comes the field goal team for the Chicago Bears. Listen to this crowd as it comes to its feet.
Everyone in the ballpark is standing up.
Chicago Bears with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to play in overtime. A 26-yard field goal by John Rivetto. They defeat the San Diego Chargers 20-17. We'll be right back at Soldier Field in just a moment.